the Spoonie Stitcher in her stitchery. What? It's clean here behind me. I hope everyone is having a good night, and please welcome my guests. I'm going to do this right, I hope. Lori from Lori Stories and Crochet, and Heather at Heather's Creative Corner. Hi. Ladies. Or not.
What, say it again?
Say hi.
Oh,
hi.
Hello.
Oh, dear. So, when you're here, just say hello in the comment section, and we'll know who's here. Please remember the like button. It does help. And share the video if you want to, if you know somebody who might be interested in this kind of content. A little bit about my channel if you're new. Hi, I'm Shannon. I'm the Spoonie Stitcher. A Spoonie is somebody who has a chronic condition. I have many. And I'm also a zebra, somebody with a bunch of rare conditions. Yay. And so we are actually talking about one of those rare conditions tonight, which is endometriosis. We are also talking about adenomyosis, which is like, they're kind of like sister conditions.
Yes.
And I did find out recently that you can have both. And we're going to talk about the fact I might. I have more markers. Yay.
Yay for you.
And this live almost didn't happen because somebody on the panel was sick. Somebody on the panel I couldn't get a hold of. And me, I had an endometriosis attack, a really bad one. So how's that for irony? And right now, the reason I am so energetic is because I'm in a lot of pain and I'm really praying the medicine kicks in. Oh my goodness. Everybody say hello to Marshall and Megan and Smiley Lady and Sam. And here we go. Devaney. Hello, my love. And Doggy Life. Hello.
Sam. Yeah.
I feel like I'm yelling. I'm sorry.
And Camille was at the very beginning, but that was before it went live.
Oh, Camille, did I miss you? I'm sorry. Hi.
Yeah, she was all the way at the beginning.
Oh, okay. Girl, hello. So real quickly, would you ladies like to just address your channels real quick? So if anybody wants to subscribe, they know all about you. So Lori, you want to go first?
Sure.
Okay.
I'm Lori's Stories and Crochet. I mostly started my channel because I had to retire from teaching. I was a teacher for over 24 years, high school math, and I wanted a place to tell my stories. But also I had a disability retirement because of migraine, so it wasn't like exactly on my terms. So I needed something, and I needed an outlet to tell my stories. I'm very extroverted. I need to be with people, but anyway, crochet, it turns out I really enjoy and I love it. And my grandma had taught me when I was a child, but I tell family stories. It started as classroom stories, but I tell family stories, silly stories, what not to do, learn from my mistakes kind of stories, you know, and just kind of the gambit. I do also knit, loom knit, and I paint too. So that's why I had some of my painting there. But yeah, so I share that, but not nearly as often. Crochet is the main focus for me.
Okay. Heather?
I'm Heather. My channel is Heather's Creative Corner. I just kind of post whatever. I do crochet. I have crickets. I do sewing, scrapbooking, just all kinds of stuff. So you never really know what you're going to get. Yeah.
Yeah. So you're like me, a creativity channel. Well, you both are. We're creativity.
Whatever I feel like doing that month is what I do.
Yeah.
That's perfect.
I have seen you make stitch markers and earrings, and I've seen you do some scrapbooking. And then, Lori, I know you also do diamond painting.
Yes, I do diamond painting, yes.
Yeah. So, and Megan just told me that. Thank you.
I just said hit Dorothy. I'm sorry. It's supposed to be say hi, Dorothy. We don't want to hit Dorothy. Dorothy's in Tasmania for you, those of you that don't know.
Oh,
Dorothy
fun. Well, thank you so much for being here then.
Yeah. The time actually works out. I think it's morning there.
Yeah, I have friends in Australia and they like when I do the late night. And then people with kids love when I do the late night lives because the kids are in bed.
Yes. See,
So-
that's perfect.
That's why Heather's able to be here. It's because her kids are in
Oh,
bed.
yeah, exactly.
They're not quite in bed yet, but
Oh.
it's not my problem.
It's his problem, right?
We'll be in bed soon.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, lunchtime.
Lunchtime,
Dorothy says.
okay.
Yeah, okay. I knew it was good timing as far as over there, the literal other side of the world.
So March is Endometriosis month. It is also National Crochet Month. It is also International Crafts or something like that. I don't know. I was reading Love Crafts the other day and they were saying something on their website. And so this live is going to be a little bit more intense, isn't the right word, serious than most of my lives. We are sharing very personal things with you guys. So we're going to use medical words. If you are a dude in the audience, I am warning you now. If you don't want to hear this,
Right.
there are a lot of other videos you can watch. And
Yes.
yeah, we're gonna use some words on here. Nothing that will get us flagged,
Right.
but medical terms. Okay.
Right.
So there's no other way to describe it, people. I'm sorry. So yeah, that's it. I'm just warning you now. We could get emotional. These stories are very personal for us, and these situations are really hard. And I read something today that living with endometriosis or adenomyosis is one of the most painful experiences on the planet. Like, yes, childbirth is extremely painful. Yes, breaking your legs, all the kind of stuff. But that stuff is temporary. And your endo and adeno pain just don't go away.
Right.
And for endo, there is no cure. And
Correct.
for adeno, you can have a hysterectomy, but it can come back. So
I hadn't read that piece.
that's fun. What?
I had not read that piece of
I'm
it
sorry.
yet.
I'm sorry.
Oh no, it's okay. I don't plan on taking that route if I can avoid it for
Yeah.
other reasons. I'll explain.
Yeah. So I don't know. We can start with me or we can end with me. What do you ladies want to do? Rock, paper, scissors, or what?
I don't care.
Okay.
Whatever makes sense to you, Shannon.
All right. Well, we'll start with Lori because we keep going Lori, Heather, me. So let's do Lori.
Okay, so
Let me see if I can put you primarily on the screen. There we go.
yeah, there you go. I will start with how I recently got my diagnosis.
Okay.
I'm 54 years old. I went in because I thought, well, okay, most ladies my age are kind of experiencing the end of the whole thing, right? And I'm like, I seem to be having 2 periods a month. And sometimes I'll have 2 days off and then it's starting up again. I need to see what is going on. So I wanted kind of an urgent appointment. So I saw a gynecologist that is not my normal gynecologist. And 99% of all the gynecologists I've ever seen were women. This person was not a woman. I go in, it's scheduled. I have an ultrasound first, and then I go in the appointment or into the room, the exam room. So have the ultrasound, and it was, the internal ones, they're very uncomfortable. Mm-hmm. Simply put, they don't feel nice. Mm-hmm. And she's like digging around in there trying to get pictures of my ovaries and all the stuff. So I go in the exam room, I'm waiting, and in comes this, I'm going to describe him as California's surfer dude who's, about to retire, but like he's given those vibes. And so you're all picturing it. I'm sure you're picturing.
That's an image.
And he's like, so has anybody ever told you have adenomyosis? No. What is that? And he goes, 1 second. I kid you not. This is it. He wrote it on this paper towel and handed it to me.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. Yes. I keep this because what the heck?
Mm-hmm.
He minutely explained it to me. And he said, oh, it's okay. When you go through menopause, it'll just go away. Any evidence that I might have menopause anytime soon? No, there is not evidence of this. I would love it. But yeah, no, this is legit. That's him. That's for real. I keep it because it's are you serious? Are you serious with this? But anyway, so he kind of explained it that the lining goes into the muscular wall of the uterus. So I'm like, okay. And he said, oh, and you have some cysts on your ovaries. They're probably no big deal, but we need to do a follow-up in a month. I made sure to get a different doctor. So in my follow-up, she explained a lot more of what it was. And then she started asking me questions because he made it sound like it's something that just started. But he didn't really make it sound like any. He just said here. But she explains, I explained to her that, yeah, when I used to have periods, I had cramps. And I don't know if this is what endo's like. I really don't know that side of it. Yeah. But I would have cramps that it was so much pain, the whole front of my legs would go numb all the way down to my kneecaps.
Oh, wow.
That's like how intense the cramps were. Wow. And so I was having to take when I was this was all the way back in my 20s. And I was having to take days off work at least once a month because I couldn't go anywhere. And I know people,
dehumidifier.
Yeah. Yeah. And I know people with endometriosis experience something very similar, right? You have days that you just can't go anywhere, do anything. And then by the time I was in my 30s, giant clots. It was rough to say the least. And so that's why I elected at that point. I had 2 kids now. My first one came a week early. My second one, I went into some preterm labor, and now I'm wondering if it's related. I don't know that it is. At 25 weeks along, they got it to stop, but then she was born at 37 weeks. So she's not even considered premature, but I'm wondering how much of whatever might've been going on has been going on for all my life. When I look it up in, with the Mayo Clinic and with some of the other Johns Hopkins, they're still trying to figure out adenomyosis because they don't know. They just don't know exactly like when it starts, why it starts, how it starts. Is it genetic? They don't know. It's just, I had never in my whole life heard of it until he handed me this lovely paper towel.
Yeah.
And then I mentioned it to my neighbor, and she said, yeah, I had that. And when they took my uterus out, it weighed 3 pounds. So that's what it does. It just builds in there and just, yeah. But that's a paper towel. That's what that is. The paper towel. It's not even a notepad. Nothing. That's a paper towel. Anyway, so I have a Mirena IUD that has the progestin. Mm-hmm. I am earmarked as having an allergy to estrogen. So this was all before all this very recent stuff. Yeah. Because taking any estrogen back in my 30s, that was the worst migraine I've ever had in my whole entire life. So they just listed as an allergy, and they said progestin will combat that. Turns out progestin actually really helps reduce the adenomyosis symptoms. And so I have minimal bleeding and all that stuff. I mean, all of that is better. But here I am all these years later, and I'm suddenly, when I should be hitting menopause, I am actually kind of having more spotting challenges and all this stuff. And but they said I'm doing everything I can to minimize it. The reason I would not, well, many reasons I would rather not have a hysterectomy is because for me, the progestin, I tried out, I was like, oh, take it out and see if that helps my migraines. No, it helps migraines tremendously for me. I understand that's not for everybody, but because I was willing to give it a shot, I'll try anything to get, to get my migraines under control. And then it was worse. So, and then it turns out, yeah, that's helpful. And I need it for this other condition that I didn't even know I had. And then as far as the cysts on my ovaries, the woman doctor told me, she's like, oh yeah, no, those were normal. Those are just, cysts that you get on your ovaries from ovulating. I'm like, that is the opposite thing I personally want to hear right now. I don't know. I'm ready to be done. I am 54 years old. I'm ready for that to be done. And again, that's like the opposite of what I know people with endo experience. It's like so much. I could have gotten pregnant at the drop of a hat. I was the opposite, but I also had my babies when I was in my 20s. And I question whether I would have had more troubles had I not been so young by today's standards. I don't know. I might have, which is hard. Yeah, no, I know. It's unreal. That's why I keep it, because no one would believe me if I didn't show you. That's for real. Paper towel. I know. It's crazy.
Wow.
Anyway, yeah.
What a way to find out.
Right. Well, and he seemed like, it's no big deal. I'm like, well, okay, kind of. For some people, they have zero symptoms. So you don't even know. I believe that was my neighbor's situation. And yeah, so that's that's what happened. And again, it explains a lot about my younger age. I believe I've probably been having symptoms for a long, long time. Mm-hmm. I think I've kept them at bay inadvertently, treating migraines and trying to deal with the symptoms that I didn't know were from this. But I suspect, I mean, it apparently was very obvious on this ultrasound they did, because that's not even what they were looking for.
Yeah.
So it must have been super obvious. So it's like, how long has it been going on?
Yeah.
Potentially very, very long. I don't know. But thankfully, I don't have too much cramping, and the bleeding's, for the most part, minimal. Now, with the progestin IUD, that hormone balance combats. I guess it feeds off estrogen. Is that the same with endo? I think it is.
Somewhat. Mm-hmm.
Somewhat, yeah. So that's it's new to me, so I'm still learning.
Yeah. I think that's something that I honestly think that the chronically ill community, the fact that we do all this research and stuff like that, and people think we're kind of crazy for it, but why wouldn't you want to know what's going on with you? Mm-hmm. Yeah, we can read some crazy stories and stuff and get scared out of our minds, and yeah, but I think it's better to walk into a doctor's office like, hey, I know about this. Now explain this.
Right.
And, and they'll say, oh, no, there's going to be tearing or something like that. Like, yeah, I already know.
Right.
Like, oh, you do. And sometimes it will even impress the doctors. Like, oh, well, you're taking your health like in your hands. Like you want to know. So I think for the most part, the Spoonie community, we're pretty good about, this is what's wrong with us, and we're going to find out every single thing we can.
Right. And I'm going to go to multiple sources. Thank you very much.
Yeah. What is going on in the comment section? Why do I need a moderator? What is happening?
I don't know that you do.
I haven't seen anything.
Yeah, I've been watching.
Okay.
And Heather's been watching.
All right. Well, if you guys see anything, let me know.
Yes.
I don't think I need a moderator. I mean, it's just 2 channels.
Right.
And then Nightbot is supposed to do its job.
Yeah. Nightbot takes care. It really does take care of stuff.
Yeah. I don't know if it's awake. Let's see. Yeah. All right. Let's see if this works. I'm sorry to interrupt you, Lori. I just didn't know what was going on.
Oh, no. I'm glad you went ahead and addressed that.
See if it's going to work. Yep, it worked. Okay. All right. Nightbot's awake. So that's good. So Lori, if you want to type corgi in the chat box, it will link your channel.
I went to the wrong spot. There we go. Okay. And yeah. So I usually tell funny stories, but the fact that this is how I got my diagnosis is both funny and horrifying simultaneously.
Yeah.
I can't believe he didn't tell you more about it. Like at the time, he's like, "You have this," and then goodbye.
Right here, basically, he wrote it on this. So go look it up. That's literally what it was. He was in there maybe at the tops 5 minutes.
Oh my stars.
I am so glad he did not have to examine me in any way.
Mm-hmm. I think it would have been like, you know what? I'll find a different doctor if that was needed. No, thank you.
Yeah. And like I said, I made sure my follow-up about the cyst that turned out to be literally nothing. It's fine. At least I got some more information from that. I made sure it was not with him. So. No, I know. It's unbelievable, right, Rachel? Rachel is thrifty crocheter.
Yes.
Yeah. It's unreal. It's truly. It's surreal, weird, surreal things happen in my life. It's usually simultaneously horrifying and hilarious. I don't know.
Oh. Well,
little things, nothing big. I mean, even though this is big, it's not really big because I've been living with it for who knows how long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
1 second. Okay.
Yeah.
So, all right. Let me ask you, Lori, and
yes.
Heather, be thinking about the same thing, but Lori has adenomyosis, so it's like a little bit different of a world for me. I've been trying to learn stuff because of this chat. And sadly, the more I'm learning, it's like, oh, I might have that. Great. Okay.
And they are often together.
Yeah. When you were having the 2 periods a month and stuff like that, where was the most pain for you? Like just sitting, like the cramping, or like the backaches, or like I'm not wording this well. I need.
Yeah, no, I understand what you're asking. I'm processing. I'm trying to remember, to be honest. I just remember it almost I still have extreme ovulation pain. I can tell when I'm ovulating. It's like somebody stabbing me, and often from both sides. Apparently, as you get older, that does happen more often. But with the regular period cramps, I would say it's center low toward the back. And yes, my low back always ached. But it was almost sometimes it kind of felt like, somebody kind of simultaneously pushing out and stabbing me with a needle out from the outside. That's kind of how I describe it. And it often would make me very nauseous.
Yeah. Extreme pain will do that.
Right. And like I said, it would shoot down my legs when I was younger to where it was numb the front of my legs all the way from hips to knees.
I wonder if that's your sciatic.
I don't know. I see a chiropractor and his name is literally Dr. Hug and I love it. But no, he's taken care of a lot. He just recently did a totally different adjustment on me and holy mackerel, things are so much better in my, because I went to the chiropractor before I went to the regular doctor about my migraines because that's how I felt about it. I'm like, oh, he'll be able to take care of it. Sadly, no, not that time. But he has been relieving pain in my spine for quite a while. But yes, I'm just trying to totally remember because adenomyosis, it's a lot more invisible symptoms. Like the bleeding is the biggest thing, the amount you bleed, and it can cause major anemia. I believe endo has that as well. Yes.
My father grilled out last night, and it was a really good thing because I felt like really woozy, and Mom was like, "Go eat a bite of his steak now."
Yep. Eat some iron. Absolutely, got to do it. Yeah. I had a friend that was a vegetarian and would only eat meat one time a year, one time a month, because that was the best way for her to
iron
get
somehow.
Iron.
And spinach, is supposed to give you all iron, but it could actually cause more problems.
Well, yeah, because you have other challenges. You're right. The comorbidities are really brutal.
Oh, wow. I was reading some of the comments. Wow.
Yeah, midwives. I've known a lot of people that went to midwives. But
Critters Crochet's name is Teresa, by the way.
Teresa, I will event. That one is almost fully in my head. I'll write it down and then it'll be there.
Not related to this, but since you have migraines, I also have migraines. Have you tried the Cefali? Have you tried the Cefali device?
The which device?
Cefali, Cefali. It's like a TENS unit that you put on your forehead. It's kind of pricey and insurance doesn't pay for it, but my neurologist recommended it and it's been the best thing. It's worth, I would buy them.
I'll check it out. I mean,
it's amazing. Seriously.
Right now I'm on, I get the Botox every 12 weeks. And then every 3 months, I also get an infusion called Vyepti.
I got some infusions when I was pregnant and stuff. It had to be magnesium and something else since I was pregnant.
Oh, okay.
And then I was doing the Ajovy shots because Botox scares me.
Oh, yeah. Because Botox does what?
It scares me. I don't like thinnies. I had to get nerve block injections when I was pregnant, and she did
back here.
In the front, and on my neck. But I couldn't do the upfront ones. I made her switch because I was like, I can't do that anymore.
Yeah, I've had the nerve block injections in the back of my head. But yeah, no, I tell people I don't understand why anybody would do Botox by choice. I just don't get it because I walk out of there and I feel like a pincushion. So
they've offered it to me, and every time I'm like, no, it's too scary.
Emgality, I've heard, is a good comparable. I don't know.
Hi, Laura.
I don't know. It's interesting. Migraine. Yeah, no, I've had chronic migraines since let's see, how many years ago was that? Since January of 2018.
I was diagnosed at 11 with chronic migraine.
So you've had, wow. I can look back and go, I am pretty confident I had migraines and somewhat chronic. I thought everybody had a headache every day. I didn't realize it wasn't normal.
I asked my mom about it the other day, just because me and Shannon were talking about it too, how it can somehow be related to endo. Yeah. And I was like, how did you know? Because I was 11 and I was like, I don't remember saying I have a headache or telling you I need to go to the doctor. So I was like, what made you take me to the doctor when I was 11? For my, to a neurologist. So I was asking her about it. That was kind of cool.
Yeah. My 17-year-old stepdaughter, she started, it was about 3 years ago, I want to say, she started saying stuff. I'm like, I said to my husband, her dad, I'm like, pretty sure she needs to go to the neurologist. And so she was diagnosed at about 14 or 15, 14, I think. Yeah. So yeah, but it was because I recognized those aren't headaches. Those are migraines. They are different.
There's a big difference.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently my grandpa, my mom got them, but hers stopped when she hit menopause. But my grandpa also had them. He did not have menopause, obviously.
Yes, so. He did not get the relief.
So having it from both sides, my mom was, that's what she said. She was like, knowing that your grandpa had it and I had it, and grandpa on the other side of the family. So like my dad and my mom's side, she's like, you probably should see somebody.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
So you're genetic.
Yeah, there is a genetic component, they do believe.
Yeah.
Especially with the chronic ones, and especially so young. But I'm not biologically related to my stepdaughter, obviously, but
hence the step word. Yes.
But I'm wondering, I wonder based on some other research, like where is that coming from? Because it's not from my husband's family, because nobody seems to have migraines there. So it's got to be from her mom's family. And there's a lot of Alzheimer's and dementia in the mom's side, and lots of other chronic illnesses. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, maybe they had this, but there's not been migraine research for very long, really. No. It really only started in the 90s when they started, mid 90s maybe, started really researching. So
I do know that they've had some success with green light therapy.
Oh, I've heard this.
Mm-hmm.
That's one I have not. I'll write it down. My desk is a whiteboard.
So, that's cool.
Yeah, I literally took a whiteboard and stuck it on my desk with command strips.
Smart.
So, yeah, because then I can just write things as I need to.
I thought about doing that with like chalk paint so that I could use like chalk markers so they wouldn't like rub off. But like,
yeah, that's a great idea.
Stuff or whatever.
I have that on the front of this desk, but that's not very useful.
Yes, Rachel, that's very, very true. Big difference.
Yes. My husband had his first migraine not too long ago, and he's like, "Oh, I think I get it now."
Yeah, right. It almost takes them experiencing it, to understand. But yeah,
I don't get any that often, thank God. But I got one the other day, and we thought mine was a brain bleed.
Oh, that's terrifying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My aunt passed away from a brain aneurysm, and she had like a headache and stuff beforehand. And I told my mom that I'm so afraid. I've never had any imaging done. I need to get something done, but I haven't yet because it's so expensive. But I'm so afraid that something's going to happen like that, since it's in my family already, like the aneurysms and stuff, that I'm just going to think it's a headache, and then it's not going to be a headache.
Right. I have had images because I know this show isn't about migraines, but
okay, it goes along with it.
They thought I had something called hemiplegic migraines. So on this day, it was February 5th of 2018. I was kind of like, I noticed that my left leg was kind of lagging, and then my right arm, it was like taking more effort. And I'm talking to my principal, because again, I was a teacher at the time, and I'm telling him something's going on. I got to go get this. And I start slurring my words, and he said, because he had a stroke, he's like, it looks like you're having a stroke. Somebody else will be driving you home, and somebody will bring your car there. And then by then my husband could come get me and then take me to the ER. So I did have MRI. I have nothing physiologically wrong. All my images are perfect. Like, they checked for everything.
Wow.
And then they diagnosed it as abnormal migraine with aura or something like that, and told me I had hemiplegic migraine. Well, the thing is, if you have hemiplegic migraine, you're not supposed to have any triptan medicines. So rizatriptan, sumatriptan, all of the ones that they'll give you. Those didn't work for me anyway.
I was gonna say, it's not such a bad thing if you can't have those.
Right. But now I'm finally, this is my sixth, I think it's my sixth neurologist. And I'm finally with a migraine specialist. And so he said, no, we need a DNA test. Because if you do indeed have hemiplegic. There's a whole bunch of things we need to check. He said, they're not. I don't actually have any of the genetic markers. It's not hemiplegic. It just, my aura, which is your like prequel, it's your warning sign. You're about to have a migraine. So my aura is like, it looks like the hemiplegic, but it's not. Thankfully, he said it's so much better because you're at higher risk for stroke. You're, there's so many medications besides the triptans that they cannot treat you with if you actually have that. So that's the first thing he did was DNA testing. So, and I had met my deductible by that time of the year because it was December, so I didn't pay anything.
That's what I told my husband. Like, if I have something else done, then I'm going to schedule some imaging because
yes, exactly, exactly. Yes, that's the way to do it.
Hello, Unique Amazing Stripes. How are you?
Yes.
His migraines are caused by lupus. Mm-hmm.
Lupus. Yeah. Oh, lupus. Yeah.
That's a rough one. Well, Heather, I think it is your turn. What is your little story?
So mine is actually pretty simple. I got really lucky compared to other people's stories that I've heard. I was diagnosed with endometriosis at age 22, which is really young, apparently. And I had always had symptoms like in high school and whatnot, pain, heavy bleeding, long periods, all that kind of stuff. And I had ovarian cysts, which I was actually hospitalized for in high school. And so I'd already had been seeing an OBGYN because of that, even though I wasn't like needing an OBGYN yet. So when I got married, it was affecting my marriage. And I went to the doctor and I was like, hey, this is what's going on. It seems to be getting worse. And immediately he was like, I think you have endometriosis.
That's good.
And I have it too, just like you have your napkin. He gave me a prescription pad where he wrote down, at least it was a prescription pad.
Right?
Where he wrote down
something normal.
He wrote down endometriosis, and then he wrote down, at the time I was offered birth control, which I was already on, because they put me on that for the cysts and stuff already.
Right.
And then he offered me Lupron, and a hysterectomy. And I was 22, newly married, not interested in having a hysterectomy before I had children.
Right.
The Lupron also, side effects were kind of scary because it like puts you into basically puts you into menopause and stuff. Like it stops your hormones or whatever. So I didn't want to do that. And then the other option he gave me was the surgery to technically diagnose the endometriosis because you can't diagnose it any other way.
Nope.
He did ultrasounds that same day of the appointment and they were all normal. So like a month or two later, I had the surgery and he found endometriosis, obviously. And then he like burned it all or whatever they do. And then I was able to get pregnant really quickly after that.
Oh, that's good.
But he told me at my appointment, my follow-up appointment after surgery, he was like, based on what I saw in there, if you want to have kids, you need to have them now. Because when it comes back, because he didn't say if, he's like, when it comes back, it's going to make it harder for you to get pregnant. So he even told me, he was like, if it's taking more than 6 months for you to get pregnant, you need to come see me and we need to start you on fertility treatments, which normally when you're 22 and don't have any like other issues, they don't start you on fertility stuff until at least a year. So luckily, I got pregnant a month later. So it did not take any time at all, and whatever he did worked. But it has been, my surgery was back in 2018, and it's been getting worse since then. I had my kids, actually I had one around 2018, and I had one a couple years later, and ever since then it's kind of been getting worse. So then I went and talked to my OB, not last year because I don't like that one, but the one year before.
Relatable.
I know, it's who they stuck me with because my actual OB was on vacation. So I'm like, I'll see this exactly. But she offered me Orlissa, which was kind of similar to Lupron, but it wasn't an injection. So I told her no. But I had also told her, I had mentioned hysterectomy again because that was brought up the first time. And she said that even if you get a hysterectomy, there's no guarantee that your pain and stuff will stop. So I said, well, that answers that. I'm not going to get a hysterectomy then. And we're just going to do another surgery like we did last time if it gets to the point where I'm in as much pain as I was last time, which thankfully so far I've not been.
Hysterectomy can help adenomyosis, but actually it is a myth that it helps endometriosis.
Right.
But that has nothing to do with endometriosis. I found that out from my surgeon.
I guess they figure since your periods are stopped, then you're not bleeding, so then you're not going to be in pain or whatever. But that's not, even my doctor's like, that's not how.
Not even close. Yep.
Right, because it's kind of on the outside of the uterus, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Or anywhere it pleases.
Anywhere, right? Intestines, everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, whereas adenomyosis is just all on the inside, from what I understand.
I'm not going to show them because you're only a flat. But I got pictures from my surgery, and I think they're really cool. These look like before and after. Like, here's what it looks like, and here's what it looks like.
That is
you showed me over Marco Polo, and it was so blurry.
I have the actual ones. I can text them to you. But
no, that's okay. I don't need that. That's okay.
They're really cool. I think they're really cool, but it's like really cool because I like got to see like my ovaries and my uterus and my intestines and stuff. Like, it was cool. But it was not fun. But I don't know. He retired, the guy who actually did the surgery. I'm seeing a new OB now. But he never told me officially like what stage I was. But me and Shannon were talking, and based on like my symptoms and everything, it seems like it's probably stage 2.
Yeah. There are 4 stages to endometriosis. And for some reason, not every doctor will mention them to you. But it actually has nothing to do with pain. It has to do with what you look like on the inside.
Right.
However, I can't tell you how much attention I get when I go, I have endometriosis stage 4. And all of a sudden people go, oh, are you okay? Like, no, I have no.
As a matter of fact, no.
I'm wondering if this new OB does the surgery, if she'll be different because she's younger. I think if I had to guess, she's in her late 30s, early 40s, and then this guy, he retired, so he was like 70. So I'm wondering if like their approach and stuff will be different with the surgery. I don't know.
I wish that they would put more money and research towards women's health, but that's a whole nother issue.
Right.
And but yeah, they don't know enough about any of these. They just don't know enough. And they don't want to. It's just like, well, this is what we've heard works, except we've proven that it doesn't work. So I was on Orlissa for 2 years. That's the max you can be on it.
Because
it was an experimental drug at the time. And I was on it for 2 years. And it helped tremendously. But unfortunately, it also got in the way of a lot of other medications for all my other issues. And so that was a problem. And but when I got off of it, the pain was so much worse. So yeah, I mean, but I understand people who were like, I'm not going the Orlissa route because let me tell you, the worst thing about Orlissa is once you're off of it, you notice. That's the worst part. You can't go back on it. And so when you're off of it, you notice immediately that it's like, oh, this is what it felt like before. Okay. Yeah. And
they said it can cause like osteoporosis and all kinds of stuff. And I'm like, I'm not interested in doing that. And at the time I was, like I said, I was 22 or whatever. I'm not interested in doing that to my body in my 20s. But
I get that. I was desperate.
Yeah. I did okay so far. But the surgery worked really well for me. And it's been 8 years, 7 or 8 years since the surgery, and it's just now like getting like worse. So I got lucky.
Well, you did and you didn't, because I've been doing a lot of research, honey, and unfortunately, it doesn't get better. Endometriosis gets worse as you get older.
I know for sure I'm gonna have another surgery, and then I'm gonna get my MRI in the same year. That's my plan.
There you go. Yeah, it's Oh, we'll talk about that in a minute. Anyway, continue.
I think that's about it.
So you got your migraines first, and you were and you didn't even know that they might be related.
No, because I had migraines when I was 11, and then the endometriosis stuff I didn't notice was really bad until I remember, like in like middle school, high school. So
they didn't. They don't have any, like, they don't really know where people get it, but sometimes you can kind of tell. And apparently, according to my pictures, my surgeon was able to tell me it happened when I was born. Something happened in the womb, and I got endometriosis, but I wouldn't have any symptoms until I got my first period, obviously. And so, yeah, it gets complicated. It gets real complicated. And the problem is, so many myths are what people and doctors believe, even if they've proven it can't possibly be true, that's what everybody goes with. Like the hysterectomy. Hysterectomy will fix endometriosis. Pregnancy will fix endometriosis. Neither is true. And they've proven it over and over again. But still, doctors will say that. And that's what's really frustrating. Because when the medical professional, the one who's telling you how to help your health, is telling you that this bold-faced lie, which, yeah, to be fair, maybe they really do believe it. Because they don't know any better either. But it's really frustrating, especially when you know the truth. Like, no, that's not going to work, is it? And the thought of how many women have probably had hysterectomies because of this, and nothing happened because, great, now they can't have children. They probably wanted them because that's the way the world is cruel.
Right.
The people with this kind of problem, the ones with infertility issues, are the ones that really want children. And now they had this surgery, and it did absolutely nothing except now you can't have kids.
It was my second doctor was the one that told, because the first doctor, but like I said, he was 70 something. So that's probably what they thought back then when he first got his training or whatever. He was the one that offered the hysterectomy. And then the second doctor, the one that I see now, since he retired, she's the one that said, no, that's not true. That won't help you. Mm-hmm. And she's like, you can if you want to. She's like, but there's no guarantee that it's going to do anything. So I'm glad. So that's why I'm wondering if her approach to stuff is going to be different in general, just because she's already said stuff that was true, because she's younger. Like I said, I think she's no older than like 45 at the most. And so I think she's got more up-to-date research and all that. Where's Ian working?
Oh, yeah. So Heather, would you say that do you think your migraines have gotten worse over the years? Because you said your endo's getting more painful, so I was wondering if the migraines were getting worse.
No, it's about the same.
Okay, well, that's kind of a blessing.
It's better now that I'm on the medication. I was going through my notes because I just had a neuro appointment last week, and I used to have, I think it said 25 headache days a month, and then now I'm up to like 5, and 3 of the 5 were when I'm on my period, which is why I think maybe some of it is endo or hormone related. Mm-hmm. So they started me on a new triptan, which I don't particularly like triptan, but like you said, I'm desperate and I'm only supposed to take it during my period, and it's supposed to help that. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I'm wondering if it'll help the other stuff too, because I just feel really terrible that whole week because migraines and endo at the same time. So I'm hoping maybe I'll be able to function for that week now. I don't know, because nothing really helps. There's nothing you can really do about the endo besides, like, you know, ibuprofen for some pain.
Maybe. But then you have to worry about taking too much of that and causing an ulcer in your stomach. So yeah.
I do find that the birth control does help me some. It's obviously not a cure or doesn't help all the way, but it's definitely helpful.
Oh, I can tell when I'm not on it. Oh yeah. There's a difference.
At least there's a little bit of help there, but there's nothing they can really do. except the surgery, which helps for a couple years, and then it gets worse again.
Yeah. It's a battle. I think there's a reason that they call you Spoonie warriors, because living your life with pain, constant pain, is a battle. You are battling your body. You are choosing what I like to call the least painful method.
Yep.
Every single thing you do is what is the least painful option.
Mm-hmm.
You know, is it better for me to take the med today, or is it better for me not to and try to get more time out of this? Or should I do that task today? Or should I decide that maybe that task isn't as important as I think it is? And, you know, do I call in sick to work today because I just can't make it out of bed? And yeah, it's awful. And then if you have other complications on top of that, like Heather, you've got your chronic migraines. Lori, you've got your back pain and your migraines and all that other stuff that's going on in your spine.
Right.
I mean, when you have complications, that also makes it more complicated for the doctor, because the doctor's going, well, you have this, but it could be related to that. So I don't know which one it is.
Right.
And we don't want to make their lives more complicated. We want to be cured. But what do you tell them?
Right.
You know?
And I had, you said with the pain, I had one of my children with no epidural or anything. It was a piece of cake because the pain, it was like.
It was nothing comparatively, right?
Yeah, it was basically the same.
Yeah.
My sister, she tried and she was like, I don't know how you did it. I'm like, it wasn't that bad for me. Because I was used to it.
It's like, well, at least my experience, it's just like really bad menstrual cramps. Really bad ones. But that would be normal for you.
According to my my surgeon, he says that actually people with endometriosis do not have cramps.
Oh.
We have what his team at least refers to as mega cramps. Whatever the most painful cramp that a human woman can have, now take that and do it times 10, he says. And that is a normal cramp, mega cramp, for an endometriosis person. So if you have more pain than that, then you are amping it up even more than times 10. Right. It's like, well, that's a terrifying thought, but he's not wrong.
Right.
Because there are times when you literally cannot move. At least me. There are times when it's like, I am stuck in this position, even if it's a weird position. I'm stuck in this position until to further notice.
Right. Right. And for me, it was never that extreme. It was never, it was bad. Mm-hmm. It was never that extreme.
Mm. Well, but what about the numbing legs?
Well, yes, but that it was like numb and not nauseating, but it wasn't like painful because it was like,
okay,
it passed pain into numb. It was very strange. My experience there, like it would start as pain, but not as bad as you're describing. Still, like my contractions were definitely stronger or worse. Only mildly, but still they were noticeably, they were worse than my regular numb cramps.
And I love that more women want their husbands, boyfriends, brothers, family members, dads to understand their pain. So they're doing those machines where the guys get to feel it. But if you notice, number 10 is childbirth. Number 9 on the dial is endometriosis.
And it's probably
reversed. Yeah, to be honest, I'd probably reverse those two. But nothing against childbirth. Women who
we
love you and we appreciate you. Thank you. But yeah, it's still excruciating. And
at least
the guys who are just experiencing the one where just women's regular menstrual cramps, and they're like, I can't take this, and it's like, we can't turn the machine off.
Right.
I haven't heard one woman mention that yet in any video I've seen. It's like, you don't mention, we can't turn it off. Right. You can turn the dial off. Right. We have to live with that.
Right.
Thank you, Eve. Anyway, but yeah, it's like, so stop saying that it's like, it's just cramps. It's like, you just experienced that. Do you think it's just cramps? Like, seriously, when you're asking guys who go through that, it's like, has anybody asked them? It's like, when they say it's just cramps, like, okay, you went through the machine. What do you think now is just cramps?
Right. Right. And at least with childbirth, again, you're in pain, but it's a short-lived.
Well, at the end, they hand you a baby.
Right?
And you have something beautiful at the end. Yes.
It's all worth it for something. I don't know what this one's worth it for. I got questions for God. I don't know what this one's worth for. What is the point of endo? Please.
Right.
Or adenomyosis. What is the point?
Right. What is going on here?
What is the plan? But I just think that, you know, I get a little bit of a pet peeve when people use the term like, it's just cramps. It's just endo. Oh, have a baby, you'll fix it. Oh, it's just infertility issues. Like it's just, you know, oh, you forgot to shut the bathroom door or something. I mean, they just play it off as nothing. Women too, not just men. Women too. They'll play it off as nothing, and it's like, you don't know if you don't have it.
Right.
You don't know. And as much as we want our family members to be sympathetic to us and stuff like that, they don't get it.
Right.
And they won't, because, you know, they'll ask you to describe, you know, the doctors ask you to describe your pain, and it's like, where do I start? Which pain do you want me to describe? You want me to describe the one that wakes me up in the middle of the night that feels like someone stabbed me? Do you want the one where I'm sitting in a chair and all of a sudden I turn the wrong way and it feels like I just got injected? Do you want the one that feels like I'm punched in the stomach, but it's not my stomach? What do you want from me? And they'll be like, well, when do you get those? And I was like, I don't know, because it's called chronic.
Right.
Which means all the time.
24/7, 365, sir.
We can't turn the dial off. That I need that. That should be an endometriosis shirt.
Yes.
We can't turn the dial off.
Yeah.
We can't turn it off. And as much as and the worst part is, especially when you're young, and this is what happened to me when I was young. So this is part of my story. So my turn. Buckle up. It's gross. So okay. I got my period very young. I developed early. I wear a lot of baggy clothes, but I'm blessed, okay?
Right.
And the scariest part was when I got my period, I was alone. Well, I was at a sleepover. My parents had not had any conversations with me because I was too young to have the conversations. And so all I knew was I was bleeding and I was scared to death.
Right.
Because I didn't know what was happening. I was homeschooled. I didn't have health class. Nobody told me what was happening. I would have been too young for them to talk about that anyway. Sure. But I was freaked out. Thankfully, I was at a house with people with older siblings. And they were like, oh, I know what's happening. You're like my sister. And they woke up the mom in the house, you know, and it's like, Mom, do you have anything that she can use? You know, and very, very sweet family. But I went home and it's like, Mom, we have to have that conversation now. And she's like, wow, okay.
Yeah.
But my periods have always been excruciating. Now, here's the thing. I'm a fair-skinned, blue-eyed, redhead. Anesthesiologists hate me because I always need more, because that's just how my body chemistry is. And we have the lowest pain threshold, supposedly. Which, by the way, if I have the lowest pain threshold right now and a dude can't take what I'm going through hourly, who really has the lowest pain threshold? I'm just saying. But when they say guys are stronger than women, it's like, maybe in certain aspects. Maybe. But not this. And so we went to doctors and my mom didn't want to put me on birth control. I was really young. I understand her fear of that. She's a doctor herself. She knew the research.
Right.
So I get it. But my periods were so painful, they said, in order for her, and they were so sporadic and they were long. And we couldn't do anything. And so to regulate them, again, I'm really sorry about dudes in the audience. To regulate them, birth control is the only option.
Right.
No matter how young you are, which it's dangerous to put you on it young. But, you know, I have parents who were both very good about monitoring their child, and my mom was a medical professional. I mean, she could do this. So I have been on birth control practically my entire double-digit life.
Did they do the lowest possible dose, or how did they handle that?
Yeah. I mean, we were super careful, but my periods were so painful. Forget ibuprofen, forget Tylenol.
Right.
Midol's a joke. But every single person we went to, my mom even mentioned several times, what about endometriosis? And they said, she doesn't have that. Now knowing how that is determined makes me very angry, because it's like, you literally had no idea because you didn't do any testing.
Right.
You put me in your office, saw that I was a child, and went, she doesn't have that. And then finding out now from my surgeon that you had it since you were born.
Right.
That's part of the reason that I was so early too. So,
did they do any ultrasounds or anything?
When I was a little bit older, finally we found some competent-ish. But I have played gynecologist roulette forever, and they all were terrible. The one I have now, I like her most days.
Right.
When she decides to take me seriously. The surgeon she sent me to take care of ablation surgery and stuff like that, he's a doll. His staff needs a lot of help in bedside manner. But yeah, I hate sitting in that waiting room. Those people treat me like, why are you here? You're not pregnant. I was like, because I'm here for a different issue that he still takes care of. And yeah, if you're not a pregnant person in that waiting room, you are not welcome. It's super fun.
Oh, I'm grateful. It makes me grateful for my office, minus California surfer dude.
So it took years for me to get diagnosed because nobody would test me. Nobody would open me up. Nobody would take me seriously, you know. And finally I got to a surgeon who said, laparoscopy, let's look inside you. I'm like, okay. So then I went, I got pictures, I brought them back, and the gynecologist goes, oh, I guess you do have it.
Helpful.
Had to go to somebody else that has nothing to do with gynecology to find out, but thanks. We just basically went in for pain. And, you know, we went to a doctor who said, oh, I'm going to send you to a specialist surgeon, you know, who can do laparoscopy surgeries and they can look inside you and blah, 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 blah. And yeah, it was a mess. And we tried to take me off birth control. We tried to do it, you know, naturally. We tried to see, okay, after a few years, we tried everything. We tried the little natural roots with the teas and the roots and the supplements and all that kind of stuff. We tried, you know, all the little, I think I've tried every heating pad on the market. Probably. And what? Did you say something, Heather? Okay. And so I don't know. You know, I don't know why they wouldn't take me seriously. I don't know why they refused to look at me. Something very painful happened when I was a teenager, and that did make my appointments harder. Put it that way. Okay, ladies, you can use your imagination. And it's just, why didn't they try?
Right.
Why didn't they try? I can't get over that. For you ladies too. Why didn't they try harder? Why didn't they question things? Why didn't they think, this is weird?
Right.
Whether your story totally falls into, this is weird. Why didn't we look into that?
Right.
And you with your napkin.
Right.
For me, I wonder, like, if I already had that history with him with cysts, like literally starting at I was 13 years old.
Right.
Like, I want to know why he didn't look into it until because it was the same doctor that saw me as I was 13. I mean, once I did bring it up and was like, hey, I think something's going on, then he was like, hey, I think you have endometriosis. But he'd been seeing me for years and knew about the heavy periods and all that stuff.
Mhm.
And like the cysts, I was wondering, like, that makes me think, like, why didn't he bring it up sooner?
Yeah.
But I guess maybe it wasn't painful enough for me until it was like affecting my marriage, where I brought it up and was like, hey, something needs to be done about this.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's a little bit crazy. Like that I got lucky. Like once I brought it up, immediately I was listened to and addressed, but I feel like he should have maybe had that in his mind a few years ago.
Yeah. It's not new. I
Right.
mean, several years ago, sure, it's new, but it's not new now. It's not something people are mentioning it and they're saying it's a rare condition. It's a rare condition. It's a rare condition. Do you know how you get a rare condition? Like there are two ways to get a rare condition. One is, yes, it's legitimately like less than 1% of the world, which by the way, that's me. And the other one is we just don't want to deal with that. So we're just calling it rare, even if like thousands of people have it. We just don't like put it in the medical books as,
Right.
well, a lot of people actually have this, but we don't want to mess with it. So we don't talk about it.
In reading about adenomyosis, that's how I feel. I have a feeling lots and lots of women have had this and never, ever got diagnosed with it.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it looks like to me. But again, for some people, they don't ever have any symptoms at all. But part of my story I didn't mention, but you both mentioned you were on the younger end of the spectrum. I was almost 16 before I started my period.
Oh, wow.
The doctor said, if you do not have your period by 16, we need to figure out what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
But I did a couple months before. So, and it makes me curious. Well, I think that's part of the reason I'm not in menopause yet, honestly, but it makes me wonder, was that an indicator? I don't know.
Maybe.
I always thought it was because I was a long distance runner at that time, but I don't know.
Cool.
Yeah.
My other thought too is because the only way to diagnose is surgery, maybe they didn't want to do a surgery on me or you at age 11 or whatever, because you have to go. That's my only other thought, but it could have at least been mentioned and talked out with my mom at the time.
Yeah.
And do ultrasound pictures at least help them, or not really with
No.
Not really.
No, what the ultrasound does is, hey, we've done the ultrasound and we don't see anything, therefore we have to go inside.
Yeah.
Got it.
I just had another one done recently where they look for more cysts and tumors or what. Can't think of. They're not tumors. Are they tumors? Like what
they can look for those.
That's what they were looking for me, because the pain had come back. So she wanted another baseline to see if there was something else.
Adhesions. They're looking for adhesions.
Adhesions, yes. They were looking for that, and like little masses, I guess, too. Not tumors, masses is the word I'm looking for. Like, but then again, it came back completely normal. So she's like, oh yeah, sorry. It's your endometriosis coming back.
Which means we can't see it from here. Yes.
Yeah. Would you like to be opened up again? Not at this
No.
time.
Really prefer not.
Yeah.
I don't like being opened up. Every single time they open me up, they find something weird. I had a peritoneal hernia hiding behind a xiphoidectomy. Yeah, they didn't even see it till they opened me up. And the guy actually stopped the surgery and went, oh my gosh, and had to call in a specialist to take it out. And during my my endometriosis ablation surgery, my appendix was about to burst.
Oh,
so we had to take care of that too.
At least they saw it, I guess, before it burst.
Have you had more than one ablation surgery?
No, but they took care of a lot of them when they were in there.
That's good.
I did not like recovering from that surgery. Although, to be fair, I had two other things that they did to me that were not planned. So that was a really rough recovery. Because I did get vindicated, though. I will not mention it on this channel. I absolutely will get demonetized. But they did something that I feel vindicated from my younger life. That is like, I told you something was wrong. I told you something was up. I told you I'm not crazy. And they literally proved it. So it's like, ha. But yeah. Mal's surgery sucked. I mean, that one... there's a reason that they scream and cry and stuff, and people hate mouse patients, if you saw my video.
Yeah.
But and the recovery from that, mine was 3 years. Yeah. It gets better. I mean, you know, it's not like it was that way the whole 3 years,
Right.
but I mean, it's a slow recovery because your body is literally trying to piece itself back together. And it's, yeah. So the minimum is 1 year. I don't know any surgery. I can't think of anyone that I know of that the recovery is that long,
right,
for a minimum, you know. So whenever I hear people say like, oh yeah, I had mouse surgery and the recovery was a few months and stuff like that, I immediately think you're going back.
Yeah.
They did it wrong. You're going back. You're going to have to get another surgery. I'm sorry. They constantly do it wrong. They won't listen to these 2 doctors who have proven and have great success rates. They won't listen to them. So every other doctor does them wrong. And then you have to send people to Germany to get it fixed. Most of the people in that waiting room that I saw were people there to get fixed. They'd already had a butchered operation and they have to get re-put back together.
Yeah.
So having endo on top of this has completely complicated everything, because some things, I can't eat some things because of endometriosis. Like, it makes it angrier, you know. I can't do a lot of things because I can't use that little exerciser that's the little, you know, you put your feet in it, it's like you're pedaling.
Oh, okay.
I used to do that as my exercise because I needed it for my knee.
Right.
My endometriosis screams when you do that kind of motion and it's pushing on your pelvis and stuff. So I can't do that anymore. I haven't been able to do my leg exercises in years, and this knee is weak. I heard it a long time ago. But there are things that you have to make so many compromises just as a spoonie in general. Just, you know, any chronic condition, you have to make compromises in your life. But with endometriosis, I feel like the compromises you make, or adenomyosis, I'm sure it's the same level. You make the compromises, but you're treated like you're just a woman.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, I am not here to get political. I am not here to do anything like that. I'm just saying that they treat you like you're on your period. Sucks to be you. But you still need to live your life. Right. And they don't understand that it's like, oh, it's nothing like a period.
Right.
And it doesn't end.
Right.
You know, we don't get breaks. That's not something that gives you a break. It might decide to be a 5 instead of a 10. Or maybe there's so many other things going on in your body that it's like, you know what? There's a lot of other crud going on. I can back up to a 3. But it's not gone. It's never gone. Just maybe other things in your body are more painful and that's what you're feeling. You know, like my mouths can absolutely bring me down to the floor. And my endo's like, yeah, I got nothing on that. You do that. But, and that pain, and that's so much more painful at times. And your migraine probably, Heather, your migraines probably just bring you down to the floor sometimes. And you're just like, oh, forget what endometriosis pain is like. Right now, this is the main pain. Am I close?
Mm-hmm.
Lori, I'm sure it's the same for you. You know, something else can take over.
Right. And I didn't mention this before, but like last year, so last March, I had hiatal hernia surgery. But I'd been diagnosed with GERD for like 15 years prior to that. Yeah. And that stinks. I thought my asthma was getting worse because before vaccinations, I had the Rona. Thanks to my husband's job, he got it from work. Anyway, so thanks for sharing. But, and so like a year later and then another year later, I'm like, it just seems like my asthma is getting worse. So they send me to the pulmonologist. The pulmonologist does a chest x-ray. She goes, you have a hiatal hernia and that is causing your GERD. It's like, I am not on asthma meds anymore since doing that. I am not on GERD meds anymore since having the hiatal hernia surgery, because it literally was all, I do have very mild asthma based on the new chest scan, but like I remembered the word, but I don't remember it now, but it's like inflammation, like in your lungs. It was caused by the GERD.
Wow.
So, I mean, but it was my pulmonologist that diagnosed this.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't I probably have had that for a long time. And it's, I generally speaking have had really good doctors that have listened to me, and I'm really grateful for that. But I haven't had super rare things.
Yeah.
And I certainly have never had something that I never heard of before.
That's always fun.
And I was like, wait, what? And it turns out it's definitely not. I don't believe it's rare at all. I think it's just undiagnosed.
Mm-hmm. Not rare, rarely diagnosed.
Yes, exactly. That's what I think is the real deal there.
I think we're going to find out most zebra conditions really are.
Mm-hmm.
They say endometriosis is 1 in 10 women. I can't tell you how many women I've met that have it.
1 in 10 is not rare. I'm sorry. 10% of the female population, 10% of people who have a uterus. I mean, come on. That's a lot.
Crazy. And, and then they talk about how that all the lies are what really, really get to me, because it's like, you can't get better because people who are supposed to help you get better are the ones believing the lies.
Right.
One of the biggest ones is the fact that pregnancy or a hysterectomy will fix it. Wrong part of the body.
Right. It just doesn't fix it. It might kind of temporarily make it feel better, but that's it, right?
Maybe. And
with adenomyosis, it probably actually would help, but I hear from other ladies, hysterectomies are no joke to recover.
No.
So I'm not interested in doing that.
There's a reason that there's a reason that we push vasectomies.
Right. Right.
You do it, not me.
Right.
Comment section, we are not ignoring you. I swear.
Yes.
I just want to see. Okay, let's see if there's any questions that I missed, like legit questions.
Oh, yeah.
Did they have technology then? Yes. That would be, yeah. Well, hello, Gloria. I was 11.
I was also 11.
And like I said, I was almost 15. 15. But I have a different challenge.
Let's see. It's going to run through the comment section real quick. See if there's
that's what I'm kind of doing too.
I'm really sorry for anyone we missed that came in late and you have no idea what we're talking about.
I wonder if there's a correlation with your age, since we were both 11.
I wonder. I'm thinking that earlier age might be an indicator.
That's interesting. Yeah, that's a big thought.
It actually makes me wonder. I don't think my stepdaughter was that young. I might have to have that convo with her.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have biological children?
I do, both, and I believe my younger daughter. I have a daughter that's almost 30. That blows my mind. But my younger daughter, who's barely younger, she's 27. She has the horrible cramps. She has a lot of the bleeding stuff I had. I'm like, you might want to mention, hey, look at this. This is a possibility for you. You might just want to be aware. And here's
you were 9?
Oh, no, that's
stars.
Crazy young. Oof.
Wow. Oof. Sorry, that shocked me.
Yeah, no, right, for real.
Wow.
And also with the migraines, when I had children and like when I was nursing, like I went a good 10, 15 years, even though they were only 2 years apart. I didn't really have the headaches, migraines, almost never.
Mine got worse when I got pregnant. Like I worked
Oh, I've heard that too.
at the hospital and I could not work. And then I told my manager, I was like, I need to go upstairs and talk to the neurologist, the OB, somebody, because I literally cannot keep working right now.
Yeah.
Right.
And then that's when they offered me, because they told me before, when you get pregnant, you can't take anything really.
Right.
And that's when they offered me, I was getting infusions every 4 to 6 weeks and the nerve block injections. And then they're like, that's all we can do. It's some Tylenol. Sorry. Like,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah.
At least that's a function
Brain
that works.
and spine freak me out. I can't. Brain and spine stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually went to my neurologist first because I was like migraines neurologist, and they were like, "You're pregnant, and it's not a problem right now. We can't like do it." They told me no. So then I went to like my OB, and then she prescribed me Fioricet, which is basically Tylenol with a sedative and caffeine in it, which it did help when I was pregnant. But that was, and I went and then had to get a note from her to give the neurologist that said, you can do whatever you feel is okay. So then I went back to the neurologist, and then they gave me the nerve blocks and the IV and I don't remember what else, but vitamins. They had me take vitamin
B2
and magnesium.
Mm-hmm.
And it
B2
helped.
magnesium. Take it every single day.
I still take it even now.
Yep.
But it's so silly that they're like, sorry.
Yeah. Yeah, I have heard that for some people it relieves it, and for some people it makes it so much worse. I'm sorry that you went through that. Oh, that's tough.
When I had my migraine the other day, I was like, okay, you know, sometimes people take, you know, like Excedrin for migraine and stuff like that. And then I stopped myself because I remembered. I said, there's caffeine in that. I have tardive dyskinesia. Caffeine and tardive dyskinesia are angry at each other. If I just have a little bit of caffeine, my whole face goes. It's awful.
It's similar to, I do have another thing called oromandibular dystonia, which is similar. I do this weird clenching thing and grinding my teeth, which is what caused my dental problem recently. But
I'm so sorry. Teeth stuff suck.
Yeah. Luckily, it was only one tooth, but I was at the dentist 4 times in 1 month. That is not fun. Don't recommend.
Yeah, I get B12 shots. Amazing Stripes. I get B12 shots. Yeah.
Yes, if you have GERD, you 100% should be taking B12.
Yeah. My problem is, you know, they want you to take all these supplements and stuff, and it's like, I have GERD and TD, and I literally did a swallowing test. I cannot swallow certain.
Right. So yours has to be injections or infusions, right? Yeah.
Or liquids or dissolvable. I had to recently. I'm not really gonna say on my channel because you know this is on my channel, but y'all know I had a problem that I was dealing with, and I've been dealing with it since January.
Yeah.
And I have had to take metronidazole twice now. And to do that, I had to crush it up and put it in applesauce. And let me just tell you, the taste of metronidazole, I imagine, is like probably tar.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Metallic tar.
how the street when they're laying asphalt, how that smells. That's how it tastes. Oh.
Yeah. And I have and yay, more things. I also have a type of hyperosmia. So my sense of smell is extremely small. I mean, small. Nope, not small.
Strong?
It is so not small. It is strong. It is very, very strong. I smelled a gas leak that a human should not be able to smell.
Yeah.
Save the house.
Right.
But when the gas guy came, he was like, who smelled this? It's like, my daughter. They're like, a human? As far as we know, I am human. Although my body has done so many strange things that mutant wouldn't be far off. I just did a swallow test. I do not want applesauce barium or applesauce together. Yes, done that. Yep.
Yeah, I did. Was it the one where, because for my hiatal hernia surgery to see that this particular thing, they wrap the top of my stomach around my esophagus. It's a very specific surgery. I had to do that swallow test. Was it like where they put the camera like through your nose and you had to keep swallowing it so they could test the pressure? Or is it not as awful as that?
No.
That was the worst. I would not wish that test on my worst enemy ever. Ever. No. It was terrible. I was tears running down my face. And it was like, and I can hardly remember the pain, but I remember like how I felt emotionally.
Yeah.
But
sometimes that's even stronger. Like you remember how you feel more than remember actually being in pain.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had to do a swallowing test where they had all of these different things that I had to swallow. And I basically stood next to a giant x-ray thing. And
I had to do something similar to that too, but it was like they put some weird thing in eggs, and then they were checking to see how long it took my system, like how much of the eggs were digested. That was also
you did a gastric emptying test.
Yeah. That's it. Yeah.
Done that. I got to do oatmeal, cinnamon oatmeal.
Yeah, I can't remember why I couldn't do oatmeal. I don't remember why they did eggs for me, but whatever. It tasted not great.
Amazing Stripes. That's the same one I had. I know exactly what you're talking about. And the barium is like this stuff made. It feels like marshmallow. It's very creepy.
The texture is like marshmallow. Ugh.
It's very gooey. It's very creepy. Yeah. And gastric emptying study, done that. They had to do that for mouths.
Yeah, no, my sister has had that test because she has the gastroparesis. And so I asked her about it, so I knew what I was walking into for that one. But it.
Yes, it is normally eggs. They couldn't do eggs for me because if I had smelled the eggs cooking, I would have been right there. And the guy's like, we have other options.
Yeah.
I said, you can't do anything with bubble gum. See, I was so worried because we did a, this is actually one of my favorite stories because karma. I had to do an upper GI test, which is where you stand and you have to drink these little like seeds, little poppy pellets, which they say is like basically solid 7-Up, basically. And then you have to wash it down with the barium. Unfortunately for them, the barium had a bubblegum smell. Bubblegum is my number one trigger. If I smell it, if you're chewing it, if it's in I will instantly, it's almost like a superpower, projectile vomit.
So like pink bubblegum, that's the smell flavor? Okay.
Yeah. Dentists hate me. I just warn them now. I'm just like, if it's not mint, don't put it in my mouth. And they're like, oh, okay.
Yeah, and make sure the person over in that room also does not have.
Yeah. Oh, it's been that bad before. Yeah. So I'm standing there and I do everything and he's like, quick, drink this. And I was like, I can't get that away from me. I can't do the smell. I can't do the smell. And he's like shoving it in my face. And I was like, you've got to do it fast. And I'm like, I can't do it. I'm trying not to vomit. And I'm also trying to speak.
Right.
And the guy is like, oh my gosh, drink it, you kid. He didn't say kid. And I am, and I'm jugging it, and immediately, like within 3 seconds, all over his shoes.
Yes, that is some karma.
The guy doing the pictures is laughing. Like, I don't think he likes his boss either, because he is cracking up. And I am crying because whenever I throw up, it's embarrassing.
Right.
And I was young. And two, this guy was yelling at me. So I was also sad, but also projectile vomit hurts because it's forcible.
Like everything all the way up, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so, it was very painful. And I don't remember the pain, but I remember like the punch in my stomach kind of feeling. And I do remember the x-ray tech laughing because I have a feeling he wasn't laughing at me. He was laughing at the fact that the guy got stuff all over his shoes. And then the guy cussed at me And so, yeah,
Yeah.
I forgot to tell my mom that little detail, but she was a Army colonel's wife. I don't think she would have been too happy about somebody screaming at her daughter and cussing at her. So,
right.
Did you get the test done that day, or were they like, we'll try this again another day?
I swallowed enough, and the guy was really fast with the camera. So he was taking pictures and didn't know I was going to throw up. And so he was taking pictures because the guy was out of the way. He handed me the barium bottle and is screaming at me. And then he's like, you have to drink more. And he's going to tip the thing into my mouth. And that's when I bleh. And so then he was there. And that's the guy stopped taking the pictures and the guy was back in the picture. But he's also wearing the thing just in case, you know. And so he stepped in at the wrong moment because he's like, you have to drink all of it. What's wrong with you? And yeah, like, okay, you should have, picked a different career or maybe not done. Well, I wasn't pediatrics technically, but young. You shouldn't have done children especially because it was super early in the morning. I remember I was like really the hospital just opened. Oh. And that's when they did the test. And my whole life, I've never wanted to eat in the mornings. My whole life. That's like the idea of breakfast at breakfast time just makes me feel like I'm going to throw up. So, the fact that they wanted me to drink something super early in the morning, it smelled like bubble gum. I was doomed from the beginning. But I guess I swallowed those little pellets fast enough that they got some picture because there's something in my records. And the barium showed something. Enough of it, I guess, got inside me because I'm like trying to chug it. And so enough of it, I guess, got inside me that didn't come out that they got some pictures. So I warned all of you this was going to be gross, okay?
And that's why the guy left, because you warned him. You warned him.
I was like, if you get this near me, I will throw up. I mean, I was clear.
But it's the dismissiveness that's so frustrating in general. Like when you go through, I watched my mom experience that with doctors being basically dismissed. And
I've gotten kicked out.
Then,
I've gotten kicked out of a doctor's office in front of his intern. He just said, yeah, I don't really want to deal with your case anymore. I can't really help you. So get out. My mom went to the restroom. When she came back, I was in the waiting room and she's like, you still don't have a room? I said, I went in and he asked me to leave. He asked you to leave? He asked me to leave and not come back.
Man. And you were in different places growing up and going through these, or was this all?
Oh no, I'm a military child. I've been all over. I've been all over. And in my adult life, I still live with my parents.
Right.
Because I can't take care of myself.
Well, yeah, when you have medical problems. Yeah. I mean, yeah, I get it.
Yep. My mom is my caretaker. I think it's even legally on there. Like she's technically my caretaker. And I mean, I can still make legal decisions, and they still have to ask,
sure.
When we talk to your mom about this, that kind of thing. It's like
HIPAA stuff. Yeah.
But I'm way too old to be living at home, but it's fine.
Your body is dictating that.
We lived in so many different countries, and so the medical system was always different. And when we moved, around in the States, we lived in Alaska before here, and I wasn't thrilled with my Alaska doctors. I'll put it that way. I wasn't thrilled with how they decided to handle things. And and then there were other issues, which this is very, very normal. And I mentioned this in my mouths video, that if you have enough chronic issues that you just feel like the world is too much, and even if you just have one, but I mean, if you have a lot, they send you to shrinks.
Because they think it's, what's that term? Yeah, it's all in your head. Yeah.
All up here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially if you have mouths, it's so common. People think it's like, oh yeah, you've read about mouths and you think you have it. You're crazy. No, they didn't remove my gallbladder just because, hey, let's do that. That'll fix it.
Just for fun.
I didn't have my xiphoid removed because, you know, oh, well, that's not a necessary part of your body. No, there were reasons people did these surgeries. I've even had a doctor who, like, I don't want to say that word because I could get flagged, but forcibly grabbed me in my chest after I told him it was super tender.
Oh,
I came off the chair and I thought my mom's mama bear was going to.
Right. Land her in jail.
But the grace of God kept her in her chair and no one cussed. And she doesn't cuss, so if she had cussed, it would have been really bad.
Yeah.
But yeah. But we did, however, file a complaint because we just told him it's super tender. Oh, it's all in your head. No, it really hurts right here. We're not really sure what's going on. Well, all right, let me, you know, and I thought he was going to palpate like a normal doctor. No, he took 2 fingers and literally jabbed them into my chest. I mean, like projectile, jabbed them in my chest. And I came off the chair.
Did it feel like you were being stabbed? Because that's what in my head
Yeah. It might as well have been a blade. Yeah. Oh, your dad was Air Force? Mine was Army, but I'm bilingual.
What state this is a curiosity question. What state or country do you feel like you got the best medical care?
Let's see, I was really young in a lot of them, so like my memories of them.
That's fair.
My mother would probably have a different answer.
Oh, okay.
You know? Okay. I'm going to say Japan because I remember a specific doctor and I really liked him. And I thought he was the one who was finally like, we should do something about this pain that she's having. This isn't normal. Like, he was one of the first people to say this isn't normal. Okay. So we need to control her pain. And thank you.
Yeah. And was that a military doctor or off base?
No, I was military.
Military.
We did everything through the military because of insurance. And
right,
everything.
Sure. Oh, right.
However, when we moved to Alabama, my dermatological issues were the 2 doctors' coffee break conversation. Yeah. Hi, Cricket. How are you? Yeah, it was. It was funny. It was like they literally told me. They said, "We discuss you over coffee. You're a case." And I was like, I don't want to hear that anymore. I don't want to hear I'm rare anymore. I don't want to hear I'm unusual anymore. I don't want people to open me and go, "What was that?" Sorry, this is turning into a me show, and that's not what this is. I'm sorry. Heather, you have not spoken in a while. Would you like to say anything?
Was your mouth surgery in the United States?
Yes. Connecticut.
Okay. Connecticut. Okay.
Dr. Shu, HSU.
And he is a very specialist of all specialists, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You said he fixed other people who were done wrong.
Yes. But again, like I said in my video, another myth to the medical community is that mouths is fixable. It's treatable. There's a difference. They can fix one part of one issue, of one problem, of one thing in your body. But they can't fix you.
Right.
And because they had to take out so many pieces and like put them back together again and stuff. And a lot of people, I actually got very lucky. And I mentioned this in my video. I already had the xiphoidectomy. So the xiphoid process wasn't in his way because it's gone. Because several months before, I'd already had it removed because of another issue. Because I had the peritoneal hernia behind it and I didn't know it. I also had xiphoialgia. Look that one up. That one's weird. And And in over 3,000 surgeries, the guy who did my surgery said, I've never had to take out a xiphoid because of xiphoialgia until you. And I've done over 3,000 of these.
Whoa.
Stop telling me these things.
Right.
I don't want to hear these things.
Right.
But anyway, mine was no longer in his way. And so he had a huge cavity that he could work inside. He literally had his hands inside me.
Yeah.
He would flip around.
Yeah. Wow.
Because he had to put, solder off this and reattach this. And that's why it takes so long to recover, because there's so many things removed. However, I think the reason that mine was a less painful experience in the hospital than other people is because I already had that. I already went through recovery for that, and that sucked. Also, my chest is now forever sensitive to cold. Forever. But it's like, okay, so, if you ever see me with like videos where there's a heating pad on my chest, or, I've got a lot of blankets up here or something like that, that's why. I want to ask you guys, this is kind of personal, but I'm super curious. How have you been negatively treated by regular people, not medical professionals, not your bosses or anything like that, but how has the world treated your condition? And if it's absolutely too personal, you do not have to answer. Heather?
I feel like it's just harder to be understood. Like, especially even my own family, like my husband being a man, especially, doesn't understand it and doesn't understand, when I feel like I need to lay down and whatever. He's like, you still need to do whatever. You can't just lay down. I'm like, well, sometimes I need to just lay down. And I feel like, he's not a bad husband or anything. I just feel like he doesn't understand.
Right.
And I feel like that's just, or if I cancel plans, like with some of my friends or whatever, when stuff is going on, I feel like that it comes off as like flaky. Mm-hmm. But you're not flaky. You just don't feel well.
Right.
And
canceling plans on people last minute is the worst thing.
It's so hard.
And you feel like you're such a loser. It's like, how could I do this to my friend again? They must think that I'm such a flake. And you're not.
Yeah. I missed mom group a couple weeks ago because I went to lay down for a little bit before I had to go. And I woke up and it was halfway through it. And I'm like, well, guess I'm not going.
Oh, the fatigue. Yeah. I thought I was kind of crazy. I thought I was like, well, I suffer from insomnia anyway. So, and my body's constantly weak. So I just feel like fatigue just goes with it. No, it goes with endo too.
I'm always tired.
Because your body is fighting you on the inside and it's exhausted.
I'm always tired. My husband's like, what are you tired from? Because I'm like at home most of the time and stuff. And I work from home. So he's like, what are you tired from? You didn't go do anything physical or work, whatever. I'm like, I'm just tired from being a person. Like,
yeah.
I just need to lay down sometimes, and especially during that time. And then I'm not feeling great and just need some rest. You need some extra rest. Need some iron and some extra rest.
Yeah.
But
Lori?
I feel like I can't think of anything else.
No.
I feel like besides that, like besides being flaky, my friends understand or know or whatever. But I can't think of anybody else like in general.
Lori?
Okay, so my husband is like beyond incredibly supportive and helpful, but he literally will use the words, I wish I could do something for you, but I literally don't even understand what you're experiencing. I've never had a migraine. He gets bad headaches. It's not the same thing. And as far as the general population, my friends, like, I think especially at first when it was all going, like because I was fine. And then all of a sudden I have chronic migraines, like literally migraine every day. And people were like, wait, how do you how do you like go to work and you have a migraine every day? I find ways, I cope, or I take enough medication, different things. Oh my gosh, that was the worst. They were trying to figure out what medication. I would just get side effects. It was terrible until Botox was the first thing that actually helped. And then some of the newer meds, Nurtec is great for me. Rayval is great for me. And then the infusion, the Vyepti. But like,
not sponsored. Just putting that out there. Nope. All the names we mentioned, we're not sponsored.
Oh yeah, no, not sponsored. Those are just the medicines that work for me. Just because they work for me doesn't mean somebody else with migraine that it would work for, or that they could even have, because there can be contraindications and all the stuff when you do have other chronic issues. Anyway, so I think I listed them. I think I had tried 12 medications and only got side effects from every single one of them, and then finally got Botox. So when that was first happening, and I was canceling plans constantly, and it really upset me. At work, I would say some people were like, whatever, she has the sick time. It's really hard to get a substitute, by the way. I don't know how many teachers there are out there, but it's a nightmare, like writing sub-plans. It's the worst. But hi, Jerry, Mr. Yarndall. But my family has been so supportive. And I think that because it was so dramatic with looking like I had a stroke, but I didn't have a stroke, I think that people that were close enough to me were just worried about me all the time. And that made me feel almost like guilty, I guess would be the right word.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you have your own lives. I'm okay. I'm coping. But, and so that was almost but when it was first happening, I think there were a lot of people that I worked with, and then not my boss, my assistant principal and my principal, incredibly supportive. I have nothing but good to say about them. I feel incredibly lucky with that, because that is not everybody's work experience.
No.
But I feel like some of the other coworkers are like, come on, it's just a headache, whatever. It's no, it's not. And then other people were like, they cannot, people that have migraines cannot wrap their head around what it's like to have migraine symptoms every single day of your life.
Yeah.
Because it's not normal. Because it's not.
It shouldn't
be to be functioning. I have to just make it work. I just have to make it work.
I got so blessed that at the time when all that stuff was happening, I worked at the hospital. So the manager and stuff was more nice about it. And I was able to take an extended lunch break to go get my infusions and things like that.
Yeah.
So I feel like they understood more just because I worked in the medical field.
Right.
But my husband, he's like, because if I tell him I have a headache, he's like, you always have a headache. He's like, you're on all this medication. Why do you still have this many headaches? I'm like, because nothing helps. Okay.
Right.
So,
exactly. Exactly. You can have all the things. And then if you take too many of the one thing, that can cause a worse headache. So you got to make sure you don't take too much.
That was the first thing that the one doctor said was medication overuse. I can't take more than Tylenol, or Tylenol ibuprofen 10 times a month or something like that, or whatever. I can't take ibuprofen at all because it messes with my kidneys. So yeah, so that eliminates all these pain meds. I know he's like, you're on this and this and this. And I'm like, and even the doctor, when I had an appointment last week, when he even said, he's like, you're still having too many. And he's like, we've tried pretty much everything. He's like, this is the other thing to try.
That's how my neurologist has been feeling. He's like, I don't understand what else can we do? Well, he just upped the dose. He increased the Botox and then he increased the infusion med, all of it. And he keeps going, why? And I'm not working. I'm retired. My working is when I babysit my grandkids.
And all those medications, a lot of them are all specialty medications that take forever to get to the pharmacy, or you have to get prior authorization.
Right.
I have,
Yep.
I take Zazpret on top of the Nurtec, and they wouldn't. I had like a refill left, and they wouldn't approve it, and I had to like get prior authorization again, and it took. I ran out before I even got the medication because they, in the middle of the year, decided that they wanted a pre-auth for a medication I was already on.
That happened with Rayval for me. Yep.
I'm like, okay. And the other, I was on a Jovi and had to switch to Aimovig because the pharmacy could not get their lives together and could never, they would just start canceling my order. They're like, this girl again, and then just canceled my prescription order.
Oh my stars.
So, and I'm like, you're supposed to keep up with this every, I don't remember how long it was because it's been a while, but every like 28 days or 21 days or whatever, you're supposed to give yourself the shot. It was getting me off schedule because they can't get the medicine, and they don't understand. They don't care. They're like, she doesn't need this. They doesn't need it today. She'll be fine. Or
right. What difference does a couple days make?
It makes
all the difference. All
the difference. Yep.
But I would feel like the pharmacist would understand more, but I guess they didn't care. But we moved to a better area, better neighborhood, and all that stuff, and they've been fantastic. It still takes a while, and they even put this little thing like on my prescription. They're like, we special order this, give us 7 days advance and whatever, like, because they don't keep it in stock because a lot of people don't take all that, I guess.
We have asked the pharmacy near us, we asked them to make a special note, and they were very nice, and they did it, that I can only have things that are dissolvable, crushable, or liquid. Right. So they stopped giving me things I can't take.
That's great. Because then they don't fill your, because you had that issue before. They don't fill your stuff so that you can't get a different medication or whatever at a time. So that's good that they did that for you. But I feel like they just, like, even the pharmacists don't care, don't understand, and just in general, like, why? I don't get it. Like, I know that they don't understand, so that's why they treat people like that. But like,
well, that's not the only reason they treat people like that.
But you should have some compassion. And when I'm calling you saying I need this now, could you hurry up? Like, could you make it a little bit of a priority, please?
Hey, Michelle.
I don't know. I feel like I got lucky with my job at the time being what it was and stuff. But
and I was super, like, my direct coworkers, they were seeing it happen. They were super supportive. And then my direct supervisors, super supportive, but it was people in different departments and whatever that just didn't get it.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Interesting.
Oh, specialty. Yeah, that's the problem I have with the Botox right there. My Botox was delayed 2 weeks this last time. The worst ever was when my Botox got delayed 9 weeks. That's practically the entire time. Yeah. That was a whole paperwork mess up on there. And my doctor's office, I'm not at that neurology office anymore, but that was terrible. 2 weeks was because it was change of the year and they needed different paperwork and specialty pharmacy and blah.
Yeah. Did they send the Botox to your doctor's office, or did they send it to you and you have to bring it? Because
I had to sign a consent so that it was sent directly to the doctor's office, and that was what the hiccup was, because my appointment was supposed to be January 6th, and there just wasn't the timing. The paperwork couldn't get done in time. So it's like, why didn't you see this and take care of this so I could have signed it January 2nd?
Yeah.
And, then you would have been fine. But it is what it is,
That's the other thing that I think we really suffer from is once we get our medications, or we trouble getting our medications, but also once we get them and we have questions, anybody else have doctors that are like, use the portal, and then they don't answer the portal.
Yes.
Or the portal doesn't work.
Yes.
I don't like the portals.
My regular doctor's office just changed portals, and I cannot figure out how to get back in. And yes, I'm very frustrated.
I feel like it depends on the doctor. Like, some of my doctors are really, really good about it, but then other ones, they're not. Yep. So I'm really interested to see, because I'm supposed to follow up with him after I tried the new medication. I don't know if he's going to answer or when he's going to answer, but if not, I guess I'll call, but calling is almost worse sometimes.
Yeah. My pulmonologist is my most responsive, but my neurologist, it really depends on which I sent. Sometimes really immediate responses, get back and forth, whatever, or they'll call instead of emailing that back. But that's not always the case. So I don't understand what goes through. I don't know.
I didn't know that the Zaspret was a specialty pharmacy because I'm also on Qulipta, and that because I could not give myself the shots, and I didn't trust my husband because he didn't care, didn't understand, so he just like, and I don't. It was giving me too much anxiety to trust him because I didn't trust him. Yeah, because before we moved, we lived next door. Our neighbor, she was a nurse, and she like gave injection stuff at the pharmacy and stuff. So she would do my injections. Aww. But then we moved, and then my husband had to do them. He was like 3, 2, 1, and I was like, okay, no, thank you. Or he would like say he wasn't going to do it, and then would do it. And so then I had to switch, and because of the pharmacy issues, and I switched to Qulipta, which I don't think works as good. But they take forever to get that in as well. So I don't know if that's a stupid specialty thing too.
Yeah, I tried Qulipta. It didn't work for me at all.
It doesn't help as good as the other stuff, but it's better than nothing. But I like. Did you do the Nurtec for preventative or just for rescue?
I started with just rescue, but then before I got the infusion med, I would do it preventative. So it was really weird how the prescription was written. So at the 6-week mark, so the halfway point, I was supposed to start taking it every other day.
I will be right back. So I'm going to put you guys on screen.
Okay. So yeah, I was supposed to take my Nurtec every other day, so preventatively. But then the other half of the month, I would only take it rescue. So I did a combo, but now that I have the infusion, I tend to only need it rescue.
Interesting. They only gave it to me as rescue, but I know just from knowing things that can be used as a preventative.
And it really did make a difference, like holding me off. But now that I have, like I said, now that I have the 2 meds, like, and they're about 6 weeks apart, I don't need it as much. But with that 2-week delay of Botox, I had to take it every the whole time, that whole 2 weeks. But I've hoarded it a little bit because I want to make sure I always have enough if I need it. Because, they only give you the 8 pills a month, right?
They gave me a lot.
Oh, did they give you a bunch?
They gave me a whole box, whatever's in a box.
Oh, see, I think it's only 8 in a box.
Is it?
I think it is. Maybe it's 12, but I thought it was 8. But, yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, you curious now? Yeah.
I'm going to look it up. I have.
You're not supposed to take it. What is the deal? You're not supposed to have more than 18 in 30 days. So even if it's preventative, it's for having their first infusion. Okay. So
I got 10 at a time.
You get 10. Okay, so you have a larger, so I only get 8. So unique and amazing stripes. So first of all, be fully informed be very well hydrated. That's number one thing. Be hydrated for your infusion. Then because it'll make your veins easier to find. That's why I'm saying that. Secondly, find out how long your infusion takes. My specific one is really fast. It's only a half an hour that it's in there. But I have a friend that for a totally different health issue, gets a 4-hour infusion. So she needs to have it placed where she can crochet while she, because 4 hours to sit in a chair is So just be really clear. And your first appointment's always longer. They usually check your vitals before, check your vitals during, check your vitals after, and it could be even more on the first one. But those are my recommendations. Make sure you have a book or something that they do watch the TV. Asked about the time when I scheduled. Okay. Yeah. So you know how long you're going to be there and how long the medication is going to be going into your system. So with that, bring a book to read, or at least mine, I can watch TV, but I don't necessarily, you know, I usually try to get them to place it so I can crochet, but it's only a half hour. So for me, it's like, that's not enough time. But my friend that's 4 hours, well, she needs lots to do.
Do you feel better after your infusion?
Oh my gosh,
immediately.
It's like within 5 minutes of it going in. It's amazing.
I always felt worse, but I think it was like an anxiety thing. Like it made my headache so, like, because they ask you when you come in, how's your headache? And then when you leave, how's your headache? I'm like, it's worse because of the lights and because of the anxiety. And
so I'm gonna type this in the chat so you can see it. I have special glasses to deal with. You know what? I'll run downstairs and show them to you, but to deal with light sensitivity. So I will be right back.
Okay. Do you want me to take you off?
Yeah. Yeah. Go ahead and take me off.
Okay. So, Heather.
I'm Googling the glasses that she.
Yeah. I'm excited to see them. I've never heard of Axon Optics.
Maybe I'll need to get them because a lot of my sensitivity too is light.
I have light I literally have glasses on I have wearing sunglasses on this channel. And it's like I just have a thing done. It's like it's light sensitivity. Don't ask, you know.
When I was pregnant, they let me turn the light. We all had like cubicles, and they let me turn the one off right directly above my desk. See, like I said, they were very nice and very accommodating. Like I don't know if other people would have done that, but they're like, why are you trying to turn the lights off in this office?
These, I don't know if you can see, there's kind of a pink tint to them.
Yeah.
These fit over my glasses.
Mm-hmm.
I have had to do lives with these on if I have had to use my ring lights. They completely filter out the fluorescent lighting.
The fluorescence, they get me. And anytime I go to the doctor, not even just for the infusion.
Make me instantly sick to my stomach. So now you don't wear glasses. You can
I
get
do
much
wear glasses.
Oh, you do? Okay. They have much cuter ones if you don't have to put them over your glasses. But we'll go with the Bono look. It's fine.
That's good to know, though, because I wear... Can you wear them without glasses on? The ones that go over the glasses?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Because I have contact. I wear both. Most of the time I do wear my contacts, but if I were to be wearing my glasses.
Yeah, I can wear them just fine. Mm-hmm. But lifesavers. I go into the grocery store, put these on. Go into the doctor's office, put those on, you know.
I have, when I'm fishing, those are the kind of sunglasses I wear. They go over my glasses. Yeah. Because my other sunglasses, my prescription sunglasses are just too expensive. So to have something that just goes over is much easier.
Yes.
I have blue light ones, but it's not even like the blue light that bothers me.
Yeah, no, it's this fluorescent. This is all light sensitivity. And it, like I said, it's even on the side there. And it covers the top too. So Axon Optics, big. They're not cheap, but I've had this same pair for 3 years now.
How do I feel about that TENS unit? It was about the same price as those glasses, and I would buy it in a heartbeat if something happened to it. No questions asked.
Yeah,
I cannot.
That helps. I don't care about cost.
Yeah, I cannot get a TENS unit to work on me.
Yeah,
it's not actually
my nerve issue is so sensitive that it hates it. It absolutely hates it. It just makes it worse.
My husband said it hurts, but for me, it like hurts feels good.
Yeah, no, like a quality massage.
Your husband's a redhead.
He is a redhead. Yeah.
Yeah. So it hurts us.
But to me, it feels good. It hurts a little bit, but it feels good. Mm-hmm. It's supposed to like stimulate the nerve or whatever right here and make it numb, kind of like how the nerve injections work. But it's like, I don't know. It's really cool and worth it. And I'm not sponsored or anything. I just love it so much. Anybody that has
I'm not sponsored by these, but I'm a big fan. I mean, seriously, if you have light sensitivity, Axon Optics.
I will look into those because
I'm gonna look into it too. There's literally videos where I'm wearing sunglasses.
I've seen those.
Yeah, and you can see it's just a slightly pink tint as opposed to, so it does blue light blocking as well, but it's really designed for all the other light sensitivities, specifically designed for light sensitivity.
It actually would be great to wear in a doctor's office because they have those horrible
Yes,
lights.
they're always the worst, right? The doctor's office.
It's probably why my migraines got worse when I was pregnant. Like migraines and then also the fluorescence. And
Yeah, see, that's another way my principal was so supportive because, you know, schools have fluorescent lights. He changed all the tubes in my room. They were LEDs.
Oh.
He changed the math office. All of them were LEDs.
They let me turn my light off on over my desk.
Right.
But which is good because they were nice. And not everybody maybe would have done that. But
right.
I will definitely look into these.
Right.
Humanity.
I'm grateful. I have been so super supportive, but somebody that isn't close enough to me to really get it thinks like, oh, whatever, she's unreliable, flaky, all that stuff that you were saying. Yeah. I mean, it's just, but most people in my life have been amazing.
My medical stuff has cost me so many relationships.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah, I know. I do.
I'll be right back.
Okay. Yeah. It's rough because I'm the kind of person if I want to be your friend, I'm like a dog. I am loyal. Yeah. And I will stay. And sometimes I'm loyal to a fault.
Yeah.
And I will stick like glue to you, not like in a clingy way, but just like I'm not going anywhere. You haven't lost me, you know. And I will bend over backwards to help people that I love and care about. And when you think they're going to do that for you because, hey, something's happening to me that I literally can't control, and they go, you're just a lot of work to be a friend with. So,
yeah. I have had that experience. You're just a lot, but that has been not since I've had the medical stuff. That was before that.
They just think you.
Yes, I'm a lot. No,
I think you're a lot.
I'm not actually a lot. I joke with my husband. I became high maintenance. I wasn't high maintenance. It's his fault. I tease him because we got married a couple years prior to the chronic migraines, and you know I bring up the good thing we had that in sickness or in health in there, didn't? Because I just did not have the issues. But again, he's super supportive. But I think people have their own issues, and then either they'll project that on you, and you're just too much to deal with, or they really don't have whatever capacity it is to have the compassion needed to care about somebody that has a rough go of it.
Yeah.
You know?
Like, I will stay up all night and help you tie 1,000,000 ribbons because you need this for your business and stuff like that. But could you visit me at the hospital? Oh, I just don't have time. I got to say one thing about being a Spoonie. You find out who cares. You find out who your friends are real fast.
Yes, I definitely agree. You figure out who your true supports are. And again, like I think some people just truly don't have the capacity to know how to care enough about somebody else to. I know people that have hospital phobias, so they would never come to the hospital, for example. Like,
or it just doesn't dawn on them like, oh, give and take.
Right.
Balance.
They're not two-way streets.
Yeah.
Finding two-way street friendships is
Tough.
it's tough, especially when you do have challenges that get in the way, that make you flaky. It stinks.
I mean, you and I bonded over tea.
Yes.
Heather and I bonded over, unfortunately.
Yeah,
our endo, but also crochet. We talked about crochet and Build-A-Bear.
Yeah. Oh, Build-A-Bear is my daughter's favorite for the grandkids because, on their birthdays, they can get a Build-A-Bear for their age. The number of dollars is their age. So my grandson just got his first Build-A-Bear. He turned 1. So for $1.
We do those for my kids. We did that last year.
Great, right?
Yeah, and they're 4 and 6, so it's still pretty cheap.
Right.
Hey, gift or garbage here. Their advent calendar is top notch.
Oh, good.
I love their advent calendar.
Okay, I will.
Heather, didn't you get the little one? You got the little mini one.
I got the mini one, and then I got the glisten one.
Yeah.
That's the one you got.
So cute. You get 6 little characters that you can dress up, and then each week basically is their outfit, their accessory or whatever, and the kids get to open it, and then they can dress the little character, and it's so cute. And it's well done.
They've all been stolen.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, no, my grandkids would love that.
I love it. I'm a grown woman and I love it.
I would love it too, but I know. I know that I had a hat in here in this room in my on one of my, I have the little, don't fall over. Okay. I have a hat on here right now. This is actually going to one of my friends, but I had a hat on her, and my granddaughter said, Mima, did you make that? Yes. Mima, can I have that? You want to wear a hat that I made? Yes. The answer is always yes. It's yours. It's all yours, kid. But
when they show interest in yarn, it's like, sure.
Yes. Wait, I've been teaching her she just turned 3. I've been teaching her to wrap turn yarn balls, and she does a really good job, and then she pulls it off of her hand and she goes, it's a dinosaur nest because it's got the hole in it. And last time she goes, she holds it up to her eye, and then she goes, look, Mima, it doesn't have any eggs. Can you make dinosaur eggs for it?
Aww.
It's so cute. She's so cute. But yes, she's already shown an interest. She's shown an interest in it for a year. But the last 3 or 4 months, she really is all about it. And she wants to play. Can we play crochet? Mm-hmm. Yes, we can play crochet.
Sorry, my husband fell asleep on the couch, so the kids never got put to bed. So they keep coming over here and knocking on the door.
I'm sorry. I don't mean to laugh, but relatable.
No, I'm fine. I told him to go to bed. I told him to put his pajamas on, so when he came back here and said, my pajamas are on, I said, okay, then go to bed.
We do these in steps, people.
And he goes, brother won't get his pajamas on. I'm like, okay, well, tell him I said, go put your pajamas on and go to bed.
Hello,
I keep thinking my husband coming down here and knocking, and then I opened the door the first time and it was a child.
Do you have it? I forget. You showed me your basement. Do you have a door?
I have a door to my office, and then there's a door at the bottom of the stairs that I locked for today. For now. It's locked right now. So they keep knocking on the one at the bottom of the stairs.
Now, Arabella that just joined here, she's pretty young, and she is a quick learner, and she is making all kinds of stuff for a market, and I can't remember what the proceeds are for. Something very specific. I can't remember right now, but anyway.
Well, Arabella, type Corgi, Corgi, in the comment, and it will link your channel, and then we can all go follow.
Yeah, she has about
I will follow now.
She has. Do you have a 10 followers? She's real new, but she shows her.
Well, nice segue.
Yes.
Perfect. Why don't you join the Decade Divas?
Yes.
This is National Crochet Month, and I'm really sorry that it took this long. My plan was that we were going to talk about endo the first half, and then we were going to talk about crochet the second half, but that didn't happen, so that's okay. The Decade Divas is a collaboration that Teresa at Critters Crochet and myself started a few years ago. It started with the October Opals, people born in October, and then we decided that we wanted to include more people, so we made the Decade Divas because we thought that decades was a fun topic. And last year we forgot the 70s, and y'all made a fuss. So, we're doing the 70s now. Yes. This is the 70s celebration. All you have to do is make one project on one video on one day that we give you. That's it. And related to the 70s in any way, shape, or form you wish. It has to be a textile art mainly, but you can combine any kind of craft that you want with it. Yes, you are a Decade Diva. Very good. And all you have to do is email me, thespooniestitcher@gmail.com. Real easy, one word. And tell me that you want to join. The deadline is March 31st at basically midnight. And we would really appreciate it if you would let us know as soon as possible. I say us, meaning Teresa and myself. The ladies here that you see tonight are also Decade Divas, Heather and Lori, and they've been very sweet about announcing it as much as they can because we do want as many people as possible. If you are a very tiny channel, this is the collaboration for you. First of all, we love you. And second of all, you won't get drowned out by the bigger channels because, you know, some of the collaborations people join, the bigger channels take over and then they drown everybody out. We only have a couple big channels and they are here specifically to help you. They wanted to join in because they wanted to help the tiny channels. So if you have under 100, you won't be able to tag anyone, but that's okay. You will just email me your video, and then I will put it in the playlist, and everybody will see it. So what you're going to do is you're going to email me, thespooniestitcher@gmail.com, say you are either in or you want more information. I can send you the link to my video that tells you everything you need to know. It's on my homepage right now. I won't take that down until probably... first week in August. April. August. April. If you are not a content creator, in April or May, Teresa and I will make a video and we will announce how you can be part of the Decade Divas Fun as well. So it's very, very easy. Whatever you want to do, big or small, it doesn't matter. You could do an amigurumi of a famous person from the 70s. You could pick a clothing pattern and do all colors from the 70s. You could pick a vintage pattern and do a 70s outfit. You could do 70s decor. You could do a granny square with colors from the 70s. You could do a famous television show, something famous from a famous television show of the 70s, a famous movie of the 70s. I have some Disney friends that are joining us, and they are going to do some Disney magic kind of crafts. So I can't wait to see which Disney movie they picked from the 70s because there's some good ones. Lori and I were talking about that before this.
Some quality.
And so, yeah, the sky's the limit, y'all. And if you have to drop out last minute because of an emergency, Teresa and I more than understand. But we just don't want anyone who says that they're going to do it and then they forgot. We're giving you 5 months minimum here. 5 months. April till September. Okay? You have time. Actually, March, if you want to count now. You have time to make any project you wish. And we will give you specific dates and times that we need you to post. And if you say, oh, I'm going on vacation with my family then, or, oh, I can't, you know, my kid has a soccer game or something like that. YouTube gives you the option to pre-upload so that you can say, I need it to go out at this time on this day. It's very easy, very simple. Thankfully, that is one thing that YouTube does make simple. And so you can do it at the time that we require if you get your stuff done early. And we're giving you a lot of time here. Last year, we had an incident with the Decade Divas that got out of hand. Basically, what happened was somebody said that they were going to be part of this, and then they dropped out literally a week before. But how we scheduled it was everybody had a specific decade, and it messed up everybody else's video. So we had to find someone to do it. And we went to someone that we wanted to ask in the first place, but their schedule was too busy. So it's like, well, let's take a shot. Let's ask them again. And they were able to fill that spot. But we don't want that to happen again. This won't be as crucial because you guys were all doing the 70s.
Yep. Single day.
Yeah. It doesn't have to do with anybody else's video. It's okay.
Yeah.
But, you know, we are linking everybody's channels in our description boxes. And if you're not going to participate and you're just there basically for people to hear about your name, that's not fair to us.
Right.
So it's one thing if you're sick or an emergency happens or, you know, somebody passes away, some kind of emergency. That is completely understandable, and we will make it work. If you decide that you can't do a video but you want to do a live, okay, talk to Teresa and I. We will make that work. Granny D keeps saying that she wants to do this, but she only does lives. We're trying to figure out how to make that work with these schedules. So, you know, yeah. But y'all, think about it. There's over 40 channels in this thing. Yeah. That is over 40 people talking about you. If you are a tiny channel and all of a sudden 40 people talk about you, you're going to get subscribers. You're going to get subscribers. You're going to get followers. You're going to get a fun little group all of your own. I love the people that join my live or in my comment section on my videos. I have like some regulars who always comment, or people in my live who at least always show up and let me know like, hey, I'm here. Even if I may not comment again, I did it. I'm here. And it's fun to like make your own little community. And the Yarny community for the most part is very accepting. There are some bad apples. There are in everything.
Sure.
Teresa and I really appreciate the messages we got last year about people who they knew we were getting bad-mouthed, but we covered our butts before then. And we were saying we're about to get bad-mouthed, and y'all were very sweet and you took our side. So thank you again. Because yeah, it's just super fun when people decide to just lie their little faces off and, you know, take you down for no reason. So it's super fun.
Good times.
Yeah. But you know what? I don't have time for pennies in my life anymore.
Yeah.
So I'd rather have 4 quarters than 100 pennies. You'd rather have the quality friends over the quantity of friends. And so if my channel gets smaller because, yes, I'm a Christian, some people don't like that, even though I don't push my values on you. Some people don't like it. Some people don't like the fact that my dad's military. That has nothing to do with my channel. Right. But they found that out, and they just let me know that, hey, I unsubscribed because, you know, your father did this. And it's like, what does it have to do with me or my art? Okay. That's a you problem. But we don't want any animosity in this group. So the reason I'm saying this is because we had a big problem last year. Not only did they not join us, they decided to badmouth us everywhere because we kicked them out. No, they dropped out. Big difference. Right. And we do this for fun. Right. We do this to help the small channels. We do this to build a community. We do this in order to help you. Yeah, I guess you could say Teresa and I maybe we'll get subscribers and stuff out of this. But if you really think about it, we do all the work for you. Right. You're the one benefiting from this, actually. Right. We already have the quote unquote big channels. Right. No, we're not that big. I have 4,000 something. Teresa's trying to get to 2,000, but you know, we have in the thousands, and that people consider us big because we're in the thousands.
Right.
Yeah. Cinnamon Stitches is big. Llama Mama Kayla is big. Okay. We're teeny. But I love helping small channels because small channels help me.
Right.
Pay it forward.
Right.
Pay it forward. There's too much ugliness in the world that if we can do something that's kind or fun or sweet, then why not? Oh, I love you too, Donnie. And it's just, we did this for fun. Okay. This is fun for us. It's fun for you. You know, if I haven't convinced you yet to be a decade diva, I'm sorry. I'm trying my best here. I'm not a salesperson. But why are you nervous? Why are you nervous? You've made videos before. That is the only requirement. You have to have a video on your channel because we have to see what you're like. You know, we have to see if you are serious about this. Like, if you're not a crafty channel, okay, why do you want to join this? We've had a couple of sketchy emails, so don't think they're legit. So they will not be joining us. Yes, it's the friendship. Yes. And so I know that Lori is excited about being a decade diva. Heather is excited about being a decade diva. Teresa went to bed, but she's excited. And I am very excited. I love that we are not just getting knitters and crocheters. We have people who do stuff with felt. We have people who do stuff with fabric. We have people who do quilting. I'm super excited to see all of this creativity just emerge. And I did have a couple people who were trying to be kind of sly, and they were saying, technically paper could be considered a textile. Do I have to get super specific here? If it's soft. It needs to be a soft item. I deleted my entire channel, but I was a crafter and a woodworker and now a yarn person. But I don't know if I have any new videos on the channel. Gary, you know, we consider you like part of Dawn's world. So if you want to join as a separate person from Dawn, that's cool. I'm good with that. If you guys want to be in the same video, but you want to be considered two different people, I have no problem with that. No problem with that.
Right, because you know him. Like, it's not like he's not an unknown.
Gary, I know he's not scamming me.
Yep.
Yeah. Ah, Donnie, always having my back. Thank you, girl. If you don't follow Dawn Yarndall, she is another one who totally inspires me to want to help people, because that's literally all her channel does.
Yep.
She just helps channels grow.
Yep.
And what an amazing person to do that. And she also is a Dawn. I think you're a spoonie, aren't you? I'm almost positive Dawn is a spoonie. So she is using her spoons for only your benefit. She doesn't care how many subscribers she gets. She's constantly trying to help her friends or the people who just show up in her chats. She's always asking people, hey, you know, put your link in the chat and stuff so people can follow your channel. She's, I love her so much. And I'm going to get emotional. Oh my gosh. I'm sorry. Dawn is one of the people who I wrote an email to. And I said, I don't know what it is, but I feel like I can share this with you. And she was so accepting and kind. And I hadn't had that in a long time. And she didn't even know me. And she constantly helps me whenever I have a live or something. She pushes my live. She's always wanting to have me on her channel, but our schedules are a mess. And it's her birthday this week, I think, right, Dawn? Isn't it your birthday, or it was your birthday? And so everybody wish her happy birthday in the comment section. And I love her so much. She totally is a person who touched my heart. Heather, you are another friend who has totally touched my heart. I would consider you one of my absolute closest friends. And definitely somebody who knows way too much about me.
Me too.
And Dawn, Dawn has had a really rough year, and she deserves all the beautiful kindness. So Dawn, please type corgi in my chat so that people can go follow you. Please. I know you're sad.
If you have not followed Dawn, please follow Dawn.
Yeah. And I'm gonna get a little personal on here. You know what? There's only 16 people watching.
Perfect.
I don't know how many people will actually even stay to the end of my live. So I was in a relationship with someone. We were supposed to get married.
Mm.
I got sicker and sicker and sicker and sicker.
Mm.
And the C word was even brought up.
Mm.
And I reminded him of his dad. And his mom and dad have a beautiful relationship. They do, but they can't sleep together because he has all these machines, and he's a wonderful person, and I wish him everything, all the happiness, but he got scared. I think he thought I was going to die.
Yeah.
And to be honest, we didn't know at the time what was going on with me, and maybe I could have, I don't know. God has saved me from death so many times. I don't know. I lost my best friend because she decided that I wasn't being supportive, and all I was being was supportive. And she did one thing that I couldn't support because of my faith, which I thought she respected. She didn't. And then, she blamed me for being sick all the time. And it's hard to make friends when you don't leave your house.
Mm-hmm.
This is all I have. I have to trust people on the internet, which I literally went to college just not to do. I'm a criminal justice major and I went into cybercrime. I mean, I literally went to college to not do this. And I found the Yarny community and the Spoonie community. And I literally started my channel because of people like Crystal at Chronically Crocheting, Llama Mama Kayla. They are Spoonies who do this. And it's like, well, if they can do it, I can do it. And maybe I can be that person that I watch them and I say to myself, I don't have to just sit here. I can do more with my life. I can use this platform for something. I just don't know what it is. And I just felt led to make a channel and be like, I'm an outlet for you guys. I want to do more lives because I want the Spoonies to come and I want them to have conversations in the comment section and we can talk about this kind of stuff, and that's cool. We can also talk about the fun stuff. I told you guys this is going to be a more serious live. I already told you that at the beginning. But, I want people to feel like there's a safe place because a lot of people in this world right now don't feel safe. I don't love that for them. I feel blessed that I have peace about it because of my faith. I feel like God gives me peace about, hey, remember who's in charge here? Me. Everything's going to be fine, even if it doesn't feel fine. So I feel fine, but I want other people to feel okay. I want them to feel like there's a space where they can just talk and like my family doesn't understand me, or my doctors don't take me seriously. You can come here and do that. You can come here and do that. That is why I have these lives about health. That's why I wanted you guys to share your stories. Because one, I wanted to get your channels out there. I want people to follow you because you have amazing channels. But they can see you on screen and go, that's a real person. That's not somebody who's trying to sell me something.
Right.
I think I can trust you and you get it. I got so many messages that you get it. That is some of the most important words as a Spoonie, is when you feel like somebody understands just a little bit about what you're going through. Even if nobody's going to have the exact same road. That's just not how it works. But, I mean, Heather and I, getting our periods at 11, who knew? And Lori, your napkin doctor. Dr. Napkin.
Just so you can see what she's talking about. This was my diagnosis, literally, on a paper towel.
Yeah. I mean, that's part of your road. And we ask ourselves, Why are we going through this? And I have to believe, because I believe that everything happens for a reason, even if it's terrible. I believe that everyone you meet in your life is either a blessing or a lesson, whatever you're supposed to learn from that. And so I want a place on the internet that isn't spiteful, that isn't rude. Although, boy, do I get those comments. I'm sorry, I look like an owl.
What?
Yeah, that's a thing.
Left
I
field.
didn't
All
even
right.
delete that one because I thought that was weird. I look like an owl. So, yeah, I want a place I just want a place where people are like, this is fun. I know that people have their cozy channels and stuff like that, but I feel like a lot of those channels are more ads than just cozy talk anymore. And then there's a lot of people who just complain about their spouses, which, don't get me wrong, I'm sure there's a release for that. But if you're a crafting channel, is that what you mainly want to do with your life? I mean, and you can watch that, but okay. But the number one thing that I absolutely have a problem with, and Teresa and I did a live about it, is just taking down other creators because you can.
Yeah.
People literally got death threats.
I don't understand that.
Y'all, creativity is an escape.
Right.
Creativity is that escape. I don't like craftivism. When people put their political views in their crafts and stuff like that. I'm not here for that. I'm trying to escape the news. I want to hear about a blanket you made with yarn for your grandbaby. I want to hear about, boy, did I have a tussle with Joanne today. I went to Joanne and you won't believe my story, but you can relate, right? I want to hear about the Spoonie stuff because that's who I am. And if I can pray for you in some way, I'm good with that. I love that. I ask for prayers. I believe that I'm doing it in return. If I ask for it, then I obviously feel like I should also do it, for other people, strangers. I've never met you. And I just feel like there's so much animosity in the last 2 years in the yarny community. That's one of the reasons I really wanted to do the Decade Divas. And yes, I'm bringing it back. I always bring it back, people. I make Rabbit Trail, but I always bring it back. The reason I started the Decade Divas long ago was because those were ladies I trusted, and we're going to have fun. I don't care what the rest of the world is doing. Our channels are fun. We're going to have fun because there's too much chaos and there's too much stress. Let's come to a place where it's like, at least for, I don't know, my videos are getting longer and longer. Sorry about that, but you guys seem to like it. So come for 45 minutes to Yarn World, to Crafting World. Come see my weird collections because I've got them. It's just, thank you, Jerry. I love that I met my friends here. I met Teresa. Lori is a new friend. And I would love to have more tea conversations with you.
Yes, we can talk tea, and not just the kind you sit typing.
Okay. Ooh, my spidey sense. Ooh. And Heather and I talk about Build-A-Bear. We are grown women, and we do not care. We love Build-A-Bear and Woobles. She is the Wooble queen. If you want to know anything about the Woobles, go to Heather's channel. This Wooble queen right here. That's what I call her whenever I talk about her. So, yeah, just the Decade Divas is going to be a good space. I'm not allowing people that I have pretty good gut instincts. Like, you should join and you should not. I'll be honest, the person that left last year, I got asked by another friend, please let them in. And I was like, okay. Are you vouching for them? Yes. Okay. And then they turned on them. And Shannon, I'm so sorry. It's like, it's okay. We take out the trash. No big deal. We got this. So Yeah. Yeah, Jerry. Yeah. Have you watched any of my videos? Gift or garbage? Yeah. Yeah. So I highly recommend you join the Decade Divas. Okay. If you're shy, if you're small, channel, not a small person, small channel. If you have a small channel, if you're shy, if you just don't know if you should do this, I'm just gonna tell you you should. You should. I don't know. Lori, do you agree with me? Do you think you should?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I've been like I encouraged Michelle, who is now Michelle plays hooky as a with the hook. I encouraged her. I encouraged Thrifty because they are smaller channels. Like I don't recall where you're at numbers wise, Thrifty, but I know Michelle was sitting at just over 100, and I'm like, you're at 100. You definitely should do it. And I don't know if Linda Crochet's channel is, if she signed up or not.
I
Linda
don't recognize
Snyder?
that name.
No? Okay. I wasn't sure if she was participating or not. She doesn't have 100 yet, so she might be waiting. She might be doing it more with the non-content creator, whatever way you do that. She might be choosing to do that. But I'm very excited about I'm just super excited about it. And I am doing something beyond what I actually got some of the ability to actually finally create what I want to create. Remember I said really, yes, there you go. Perfect. Because I'm designing something that I've never seen anybody else do.
You told me that. I'm so excited for that.
But I'm still figuring it out, but I think I finally got some materials to do it. But there's going to be a whole very special part of my Decade Divas that is super like special. It's wonderful. And it's such a cool opportunity, especially for somebody like me. You know, I was a little kid in the 70s. You obviously didn't probably exist yet.
You don't know how old I am.
But you know, it's like that. So somebody from my perspective, like I was a little kid in the 70s, so what I thought about was completely different than what somebody who was maybe in their adult life already in the 70s would think about, or somebody who looks back and like looks at that 70s show or whatever. We're all going to come at it with different perspectives, and I think it's just going to be absolutely amazing.
I was raised on ABBA music.
Yeah. Oh, ABBA. Yes. So good.
Aww.
Oh, you're almost at 400. Oh yeah, I'm not almost to 400.
Thrifty, remember to use your keywords box. Remember to use your keywords box. You type in keywords, not hashtags.
Yes, the keyword box is really important. Because that's how the search engine finds your video, right?
Whenever somebody types in those words in the little search box, if those words are in your keywords box, they will see your video.
Right. I finally put out enough content or whatever that I get recommended my own videos. I'm like, oh, that's nice. I always watch my own videos.
That's cute.
I'm like, oh, finally, I've seen myself there. All right, I'll watch me.
I have, I'm sorry, Thrifty. So August is when it needs to be completed. Oh, yeah. Well, not necessarily. I mean, you know, you could be scheduled for October. Who knows? Teresa and I are the only ones that have to like pay real close attention. Our videos are like, we found out either September 1st or 2nd. So it's like, okay. Because we have to be first because we're the creators of it. So, yeah, we're really the only ones that have to panic right now. That's why I said I'm doing something small. And if I do something else, then it will also be small.
Yes. That's how I feel. I finished my project this month, like my main one. But like you said, like if something else strikes inspiration or something, and I do something else, then I'll do something else. But at least I got one done, so I know it's done. And then I'll just make the video once I get all that information about it.
I'm not there yet, but I do have a backup plan if I can't get what I want to do to work.
Mine is really simple. Like I know I could whip this out in like a couple hours. It's just with all the nerve stuff going on, I am slow at crocheting these days because there's pain.
Yep.
There's pain, and I'm using my little red light and my little pod and all of those kind of things, but still.
Yeah.
Ugh. So, the other thing I think is I don't appreciate when people are like, oh, you got pain because you were crocheting, or you got pain because you were knitting, it's like, serves you right and stuff. Like, okay, so how about I say you got pain because you were working on someone's teeth?
Right.
With your dental instruments.
Right.
It's a tool.
Right.
I'm using a tool here. So if I get pain from using said tool to do said job, why is that my fault? Right. It's weird. I've seen multiple people though get like harassed for basically using a tool to do a job, which is so dumb.
Right. We've all heard of writer's cramp, right? When you write too much, like it's no different than that. Silly.
You recommended your own shorts. Yeah.
That's funny.
I have a lot of people enjoying my TOC ones, which is kind of fun. My Tournament of Champions on Food Network. I'm reacting to the different episodes, which I am actually enjoying very much because my mom is in the background and she'll make things. Like last night, we were watching one and we didn't like one, and I was like, oh, okay. And Mom goes, aw. I went, Mom.
The real reaction.
So it happens. But that's
where is the keywords box at? Like I haven't.
It says it's called tags, but don't put hashtags in there. No one will see it.
Oh, that's why I can't find it. Okay, I will start doing that. Yep. Will it help if I go back into old videos and like add them in?
Yep. Okay. Do it.
Done that. Yep.
I'll go and do that.
And you just put the word or like crochet blanket, comma, crochet, comma, whatever. Like whatever. But comma between whatever.
I was because you said keywords before to me and I could never find it, but I never thought to ask you what it was.
Tags, yeah.
Yeah, it's
it changed names. Didn't it used to be keywords?
I don't know. YouTube changes the names of things all the time. I don't know. It's like a Kroger grocery store, constantly changing.
It would make more sense if it was called keywords.
It would.
That's what you're typing in.
Then people would know the trick. So I even do it with my shorts, I fill in the little keywords box and stuff because it's like, go out there into the world. So, but what I do is on my phone, I have a section for keywords, and whatever kind of video I'm making, I've got one for Disney. I've got one for cooking. I've got one for crochet. I've got one for tutorials. I've got one for Halloween. I've got one for winter. So like, I have different blocks saved on my phone, and I'll just copy and paste them into there, whichever ones I need. Also, the word community is huge. Disney community, film community, crafting community, crochet community. Use those. People literally look for that.
I'll have to do that.
Because it just goes back to what I was saying. People want community. They want friendship. They want family.
Right. Right.
And so, before we go, do you ladies have anything coming up on your channel this week? Well, next week, technically.
Yeah, I'm doing a collab with a channel. Her name is Michelle, but different Michelle. Her channel is So Magical Michelle, because in April, it's like there's a whole bunch, those little random weird holidays? A whole bunch of them in April are animals. Yes. So she might have already seen it. So it's anything animal. Yeah. Oh, yeah. That. Exactly. There's like so many of them that are animal themed. So anything that's animal, fictional or otherwise, or dinosaurs or anything, and there's no limits on it being even a textile. It could be literally you drew something, or you put something in an iPad, or you created something. I actually today at my crochet club, I created and wrote down the pattern. Now I just have to like redo it to make a heart, but then like turn it into a cat toy mouse.
Oh.
And so you have to use 100% cotton, but other than that, it's pretty straightforward. So now I'll film that. And so that's my April thing in addition to finishing my map.
Mm-hmm.
Where's the picture? There it is. That's what it will look like. Where it's white, it's really yellow. But
I just took a look at my calendar, and the 27th of April is World Tapir Day. I'd love to see that one.
I'd love to see somebody make a tapir.
Well, my friend, I'm going to get her name wrong. Oh, shoot. What's the name of her channel? Complicated Knots.
Oh, I love her channel.
She made a tapir for one of her little mystery box things.
She makes, like, if you want to find the most interesting amigurumis, it'll be on her channor 100%. I have to listen to her at slow speed, though. She talks fast. Or maybe too fast for me. But slowing her down helps her. It's fine. More minutes. But her patterns are fantastic.
They are. I found her channel. I made her little Christmas mouse.
I made a dragon.
Okay. You committed.
Yeah, not her crazy dragon. Not the one that has like 100 parts or whatever it is. And then my brother-in-law liked it so much. I had made it for my youngest stepdaughter. My brother-in-law liked it so much. He said, "Can you make me one of those too?" So I actually made that twice.
Oh, wow.
But I learned my lesson. The first time I used a furry yarn, I literally had to feel the stitch never again will I do amigurumi that way. No. So he got regular worsted weight yarn.
You know the trick, though, with furry yarn?
Put it with another yarn.
A thin yarn that you can see.
Okay. That's what I heard after I had made it.
Right.
So I did do a no-sew triceratops with some furry yarn, and that was fine.
Oh, was that Club Crochet? Louis?
Maybe it was a purple triceratops. I don't know.
His no-sew triceratop is so cute.
Yeah.
The only thing to sew on is the teeny tiny little horn.
Yeah. This one you actually made a bobble stitch for the horns as you went.
Okay.
Okay. But who did you say? So, because I'll check that out.
Louis at Club Crochet.
Louis at Club Crochet. Okay. Because I'm always looking for no-sew type stuff.
His are great. They're great. Some people make those kind of patterns for like trick or treat for people who can't have candy. You know.
Nice.
And I literally had the little stegosaurus that I made from his pattern. It was sitting here earlier, but we've been cleaning, so. Yeah. Okay. So Heather, do you have any videos coming out this week? Do you think?
Yes. Monday, Tuesday, whatever day the first is. I'll just have my monthly talk about what I made in, well, I don't even know what month we're in now, March, and go over what's kind of going to go on in April.
Okay. You do any more Woobles kits?
I can show you. I have
Did you finish Batman?
Yes, Batman is right here. With hold on. I have too many wobbles, not enough hands. I have Batman sitting there.
Oh, nice.
And then
I made her those for her birthday.
She did.
Yeah.
Poison Ivy and Riddler.
Oh, yes.
They didn't have kits, so
I saw them being made. Yes, I remember those videos.
And then I started Harley Quinn and Joker. And Joker has a hat, but I don't know where it went. But his hat is done and her mallet's done. But I have their bodies.
You said that Harley Quinn was driving you crazy.
The color change was annoying.
Oh, I can see that being challenging.
But it was more of just a me thing. I just wanted to sit there and not have to like focus and then kept having to color change. She's very complicated and not like super complicated, but like a lot more than just sitting and watching a movie or whatever.
Right.
Whereas when I did Joker, it's literally just all purple and then all white, or the other way around, white and then purple. And the hat was super easy too. I don't know his hat.
Oh, thank you, Rachel. Yeah, I like my Foobles too. I'm working on a Foobles episode right now.
Very nice.
My kids keep stealing them. That's why they're down here.
But you make them all. You made the entire advent calendar last year, which while you were sick.
I did, and I was upset, honestly, that I didn't get all of the other stuff I had the year before. But it is what it is. And like you said, we were sick and stuff. You got to give yourself grace. But yes. I was upset. What is it? It's going to bother me now. Not that you need to see it.
Oh, no. You mean to start something. Hi, Missy.
Missy. It's Missy. She is named Missy from Doctor Who when the master was a woman.
Okay.
So we call her.
I know, like this.
Yeah, that's fine.
True. I have two friends who like Doctor Who, and I know enough.
Yeah. So when the master was a woman, which was way before the doctor was briefly a woman, she was going by Missy before you knew that she was the master. So she's mischievous, so she's Missy.
Oh, that's cute.
And we missed an opportunity. Even he is orange and white, but the other cat, he's huge. It's actually her biological child. He's twice her size. We missed an opportunity. He really should be named Garfield. He just should. He lays around and he's big and he has to be on a diet all the time. But yes.
Oh, you found it.
Oh my goodness. That's fantastic.
So cute.
So I still have to finish him, and her. And
Do the labels have a Moana kit by chance?
I don't think so.
I don't have anything Disney yet. To get
Nothing
a Disney
Disney
license, my uncle actually used to work for Disney licensing, and it is a pain to get one.
Okay.
So,
got it.
I'm sure they're trying. I am sure they are trying to work with Disney, because you get with Disney, you've made it,
Right.
But not yet.
Okay.
Why, do you have a family member
I
that
would like to make?
Do you have a family member that likes Moana?
My 3-year-old granddaughter loves Moana.
I love Pua.
Yes. I would like to make what's the chicken's name?
Hey, hey.
Hey, hey. I would love to make a hey, hey.
I've seen a crochet pattern for hey, hey. Mm-hmm.
Yes, me too. It's on my list, but I have too many other things to do first.
Always the lists, right? There's always the lists.
Too many things on the list.
So my channel on Monday, because I do Monday videos if you're new here, I got the Twice Sheared Sheep. This is a long title. Twice Sheared Sheep Spring 2025 Surprise Box Club Spring Box.
Okay.
And so it's a subscription box. And yes, they did send it to me to review. But it is the spring box, and it is Misty Mountains.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I saw their email or their post or something today that their spring collection's coming out.
Yes.
And they're an American company, right?
Yes. And this company not only makes amazing things, like the stuff they make is just gorgeous, but they're so nice. So I don't know if you guys have heard my story really briefly. I wanted to work with them a long time ago when I had like almost nobody on my channel. I had like maybe 15 subscribers. And I said, I'm a nobody, but I've loved your company for a really long time and I'm a really big fan and all that kind of stuff. And they said, you don't have the requirements, but we love that you love us. We love what your channel is, or your Instagram. We see your Instagram pictures. We've seen your channel. We like you. They did follow me. But they're like, come back when you have the requirements and we'll see if we can get you a spot. And I was like, okay. Yeah, right. Like they'd remember me and stuff like that. But I went back to them and I was like, hi, I now have the requirements. Remember me? I'd really like to work with you, And they were like, yeah, we remember you. I was like,
yeah.
They said, yes, we'd love to work with you and stuff. I said, okay, I just have to be really upfront. I have these medical issues. I have concerns about that. I don't know how much I can do for you, all that kind of stuff. And to be an ambassador for Twice Sheared Sheep is a lot of work. And that's why there aren't very many, because we get extremely awesome perks. I mean, they added a new one last year and I was like, I'm sorry, what's our discount again? It's huge. And bigger than a lot of things, we also get 20% for our commission, which other companies don't do.
That's way higher than everybody else.
Mm-hmm. And, but I mean, the stuff is made really, really well. And they don't have a lot of ambassadors because if they don't trust you, you're out. And so they liked me, they remember me, and they like my style. They love when I made the advent calendar commercial. They did not ask me to do that. I did that of my own volition, and they thought it was hilarious. And they were like, okay, we might want you to do that again. And I'm like, okay. And it worked. They got orders, so it must have worked. But this is a 8 full-size items. You're not getting chinsed out here with little mini anything. This is 8 full-size items in a subscription box that you get 3 times a year with fun themes. And also, before they ship out, the subscription club members get to have there's a little shop, and they can buy extras if they want them in their box. And I bought some extras. Because one, they said, you can use your discount. Did you know that? And I was like, oh, I can use my discount here? And they said, yeah. Oh, okay, sure. So I used my discount. I got some stuff from my aunt for Christmas because I'm allergic to wool, but she's not. So I was like, Christmas is done. So I got some extras. And I tell you guys which ones are the extras so you don't think that that's in the box and stuff. I tell you which one we paid for. But I got to say, I opened this box already. I already did the video. I'm editing it and it's a nightmare, but I gotta say, this is not what I expected. So I asked them if I could design a pattern for each box. That all I know is the poster and the theme, that's all I was told. And they said, sure, but we're not going to tell you anything about what's inside the box. I said, no, I want to be surprised too. I just thought it'd be kind of fun if I had a pattern that kind of went with your box. And so I told them where I was headed and stuff on some things. And they told me, rethink this one, not this theme, think something else. I'm like, okay. So I've designed a pattern and I wrote up this one. I want to do a tutorial so badly. I do. I love my tutorials. Y'all think I'm a great teacher. Thank you for that. But doing a tutorial is a lot of work.
Mm-hmm.
And I am exhausted constantly these days. And so I might be able to film it this week. But if nothing else, I will have a written pattern for anyone in my Facebook group. So there's a reason to join. And it goes with the Misty Mountains theme. That's all I'm going to say. But I am going to say it's a really great gift item. Like gifting, not just Christmas gifts, but any gift. People's birthdays are all around the corner, always. So it's a fun item. And then the other 2 themes are Teddy Bear Picnic and Primordial Jungle. No, I have not even touched Primordial Jungle yet. That one, I don't have a clue. But okay, I would still, even if you're like, okay, well, we can't get the subscription box anymore, why would we watch your video? because if there's overflow, they put them in a vault sale. The extra stuff that you see me get out of my box that I paid for, that can end up in a vault sale. So if you like something, you never know. Also, they have similar items like that, just not that print or that design in their shops. So, you know, it's a really, really great company. I don't work for companies I don't like. Right. I tried out a couple of them. They really stiffed me. I don't like them anymore. I may not even mention certain yarn brands anymore on my channel because they were really rude. And I work with VALARI, the pillow company. I work with VALARI. I work with Twice Sheared Sheep. I work with OPhire. Sometimes I work with BlingBlingYarn more towards Halloween because they've got like Halloweenish yarns. They glow in the dark. And technically I worked for CraftEasyTools, but they've given me nothing. So I basically have started taking them out of my description box because
fair.
Nothing. So, yeah, I was hoping that there would be a Foobles episode this Wednesday, but they sent me the box and they're like, hey, your video is supposed to go out Wednesday, or your video is supposed to go out Monday. I'm like, oh, okay. I just got the box. Yeah, sorry, you know, shipping isn't our fault. And it's like, no, it's not. Shipping is terrible. We understand. But so the original video that was supposed to go out Monday was my one about why I almost quit YouTube, right? You guys have seen that has been hanging around for months. So that's going to get pushed again. Eventually you guys will see the story because it is interesting and these guys play a part. So, but I want to thank you guys so much for whoever's still here. I want to thank you guys for being on the live. It was so great to have you. I love having live when there's actually people. It's so much easier to do a live when there's someone to talk to. And I'm sorry if I got way too chatty. Part of that is my medicine, I will say. My medicine makes me just go on and on and on and on. And so, but I'm really glad that you guys are here. Thank you so much for being willing to share your stories. It was very vulnerable of you, very kind. I will take care of if there are any nasty comments. I will take care of it. So no one has to see those. You guys are very sweet to take out time in your very busy schedules and lives to do this. I would love to have more lives. I would love to have more lives with you guys. I would love to have more lives with friends. I think it would be a lot of fun. And I think for the month of April, I'm actually going to do a bunch of tea tasting lives.
Yeah. And I'm
if you would like to put me for those, I think that would be fun.
Yeah.
I just got my TSP order that I was telling you about. I just got my TSP. The packaging has me in stitches, no pun intended.
I love it.
It is quirky as all get out, and I am here for it. And there is one title of one tea that I'm like, okay, I'm going to have to ask you guys, explain this. What does this mean? The name of the tea is 459.
There's got to be some significance there.
As in the time, like almost 5 o'clock. 4:59.
Okay.
That's the name of the tea, which apparently is one of their most popular teas. So I tried. So I got it to try it. But it's like, what does that even mean?
It means that I'm about to get off work? I don't know.
Well, I'm curious. The pictures all look like maybe like the 90s. And I was trying to think, I was like, well, I know in the 80s, you know, it's 10 o'clock. Do you know where your children are? But what does 5 o'clock have to do with anything?
I can't place that.
Anyway.
I have news.
I'm glad you found it informative. That's part of why we did this. If you think that you have any of the symptoms we talked about today, if you are suspicious, talk to your doctor.
Yes.
Please. Endometriosis, adenomyosis are no joke. Get it taken care of, get it looked at, get it started to get treated. You can't just ignore it, unfortunately. And one of the main symptoms is if you have extremely painful periods or extremely heavy
Mm-hmm.
periods, if you know, you know, that's 2 big signs for both of our conditions. So think about it. You know, I know everybody talks about get checked for, you know, the big C, but this one's big too.
Mm-hmm.
And this one will not go away. You know, you can't just wish it away. So just so you, but if you know, it's like people are telling you that, get over the pain and stuff like that. That may not be appropriate.
Right.
Because it may not be you. It may be your body.
Right.
Thank you guys so much for being here today. I really appreciate it. Please, all the channels are linked down below who participated today. Lori's channel and Heather's channel are linked down below if you think that these channels would be a lot of fun to watch. Spoiler alert, they are. Please go subscribe to these beautiful ladies. I highly recommend them and their channels. So thank you so much for being here today. Remember, life happens, yarn helps, and spoonies can stitch it up too. And we're